Well, hello, everyone, and Happy New Year to everybody out there in our YouTube land and people that listen to Digital to Dice. This is our annual New Year's show. We kind of started this last year. We did it on New Year's Eve last year, but that didn't work out this year for us. So we are going to be going live here at noontime on New Year's Day, as we're going to welcome everybody in. And again, as we did last year, if you'd like to come on, if you have a webcam and a microphone and a good solid internet connection, and you'd like to come on and say hi for 5 or 10 minutes, send us an email, digitaltodice@yahoo.com. And what we can do is we can send you the link and you can come in and join us. Where's my new banner here? Let me edit this jacket here, so I'll put that up. So Digital to Dice.
The NHL kind of abandoned New Year's Day. They went last night.
Oh, did they?
For the Winter Classic, Chicago and St. Louis.
Somebody mentioned that there was a game last night. I didn't even realize it.
Yeah, it was like a 5 o'clock face-off there. I think it's because,
really?
Well, this year it's quarterfinals for the college football playoff. I think it's a triple header today for midweek, and I think they just kind of got tired of it. It'll be an issue that needs to be resolved in the next couple of years. What do the NHL and the NBA do with the NFL kind of encroaching on everything? Now, I thought it was kind of cool to have the Winter Classic on New Year's Day, personally, because the big bowl games were later on in the day. But when you got 3 huge bowl games starting at like 1, where does that leave the signature event for the National Hockey League?
Yeah. So they got away from that. Well, didn't they play? They used to play early, I thought.
It was an early game, but this year there's 3 because the playoffs expanded this year to 12. That there was a quarterfinal last night. Penn State won. They beat, I forget who they beat, and there's 3 quarterfinal games today. So 1, 5, and 9 o'clock for your dancing pleasure. And so the NHL didn't want to go against that. You can't say I blame them. So anyway.
Yeah. So anyway, so we got a couple of people looking to join here. So I'm sending out some invites real quick.
All right.
So again, we're going to try to get you on here. And let me get rid of this right here. And we have our first guest. So again, this is 2025, kind of the wide open show, talking everything gaming. Hoping to have some great guests on. And we'll start with John from
John. How are you?
Hey, how you doing? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I'm glad I'm the first one on. I've got I got a vet appointment I got to make here in about 30 to 45 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have a cat in the hospital. So.
Oh no.
Oh.
But he's doing good. So
good.
Well, hopefully things will go well for you.
Yep. And I'm at my house now instead of my mother's. So.
Oh, is that where you went when we had John to talk drive time football?
Yeah, my mom was recovering from a hospital stay, so I went out there for a long weekend to take care of her. So,
oh, very nice. So, how's the game coming along? I see you've been making some changes to it.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I've got another, and this is the first anybody's heard of it. I'm modifying my ratings so that the 50-50 system is really a true 50-50.
Okay,
it takes into account. Like, for example, somebody messaged me and said the Ravens have too many interceptions, and their interception rate was 4%, and the league average was 8. So if they play everybody, they're going to average 6. And if you want them to average 4, then they need to be marked down to a 0. So when they play everybody with an 8, they end up with their average of 4, what they have. So I'm in the process of redoing the ratings, and I just did a comparison on the 85 Bears and the old system, the ones out there now. They average 10.5 wins and 380 points for, 275 against, and in the replay with the new system, they averaged 13 wins, and they actually went 15-1 with 414, and almost double the point differential. It's very close to actual, so I'm pretty pleased.
Oh, nice.
Okay. You're going to see that a lot more with the teams with the bigger outliers, the great teams, either like your Tampa Bay Buccaneers or the 72 Dolphins. So I think you're going to see a lot more realistic outcomes with this modification that I'm making, and it's going to apply to the 2 other games that I'm thinking about making. One that's in the works right now. So
Oh, fantastic. That sounds good. I enjoyed the game there. I've been following along with some of the changes there and seeing which way it's going, and you keep fine tuning it a little bit. So,
Yeah, I'll admit I probably sent it out to the public a little bit too early. So I would consider this first couple months an open beta.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's what have coming up here with the statistical changes. I think it's going to make a big difference and produce a lot more accurate outcomes. So
good.
Oh, sweet.
I'm hitting just over above average on my bowl. Actually played all the bowl games with it. I still got to play the CFP stuff, but the bowl games they were fun to play. So
is sportsbooks legal in your state?
Yes, it is.
So you could actually, do that. Take your result and. How confident are you in your stuff, John?
Don't come to me if your bets don't hit. But I'm looking forward to coming out in May.
Oh, that's right. You're
Oh,
going
yeah.
You're going to the con.
Yep, me and the wife are both coming out, and I'll take some I'll take some pre-orders as we get closer. If anybody wants cards that are pre-printed, pre-cut, I'll probably sell them at cost and take pre-orders and have some stuff to hand out there. So
nice.
But looking forward to it.
So is it football that you're working on besides that, or
no? Actually, I'm working on a basketball game.
Oh.
Yep, working, but it's a simple 3 periods per quarter. It's a quick play game. Under 15 minutes. So, and I think these adjustments that I made, since basketball is a lot more granular as far as the closeness of the scoring and stuff, that's actually going to be a 3D6 system instead of a 2D6. But
okay,
the layout of the cards and the way it's going to play is going to be pretty much the same as football.
Nice.
So,
fantastic.
More than that as it comes out.
All righty. Well, thanks for coming by here. We got some more people to jump on, but
all right. Happy New Year, guys.
Good luck today at the vet. Thanks for everything, and I'm sure we'll be in touch before May.
Okay,
I'm sure
we'll do.
All right, John. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
All righty. Now, Ron, we have breaking news here. We have breaking news.
Dun, 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 dun.
And let me see here.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, it's 70?
That's what I'm seeing from the email I just got. That's the new season released by Strat-o-matic, which is too bad because they have a couple of seasons I really would have liked to see.
70 is what people have been asking for.
That's what they said. So 1970 is your new season for Strat this season.
70 and 24 will be available for the board game, Windows game, and Baseball Max. Additionally, new to Windows this year for the computer game will be the 2025 Hall of Fame, Latino and Caribbean Stars, 40, 26, and 1910 Negro Leagues, updated Career Historical, Baseball Daily, and Cuban Stars. And the Diamond Gems for the 2000s will be in card form.
I am going to probably try that Strat Max again and see how that goes.
Yeah, I'd be curious. Pre-orders.
I'm going on a lot of road trips, and that'll be fun to do that. All right. Well, we have our next guest.
Hold on, let me finish that.
Hang on a sec. Hang on, guest. We have
pre-orders February 4th. Opening day is the 21st. And the 24th will be when the products will start to ship to the new Windows products release. So 70 and 24 are the 2 seasons.
Oh, really? Okay.
So, all right. Sorry about that.
That's all right. We got a little announcement here. All righty. And joining us now, Keith.
How you doing, Keith?
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
You are like the Excel master. Every time I watch some of your stuff, it's like you have just such good work with Excel, setting up like every game you play, you set up in Excel. And I don't know how you do it, but it looks pretty nice.
I try as much as I can. Well, I work in Excel every day, so I get to do that. And it just, for me, it makes it easier to play dual monitors, and I can set it up and have the cards on one, the roller on the other.
Oh, nice.
I do all my stats in Google Sheets. That's all my projects run that way, except because I've been watching your channel. I just ordered APPA football, and I can't get that. I can't get that on PDF, so that will be on the desktop, and we'll play it that way. I did want to say 40 years ago, approximately, my parents bought me APBA football. That was the first game I ever had. And so I'm coming back to that now. So that's exciting.
Nice.
Nice, yeah. It's you go there. It's like holy cow! I don't know how you do all that, but you do, and it's great to see, and it's entertaining to watch. And just how long does it take you to set something like that up? Because I see you put in dice rolls and fast action cards and all that stuff.
It depends on the game, and typically it's something that happens over months. I play the game, I get comfortable with how it plays. I'd like to see how, what rolls are necessary, like Hockey Bones. The Hockey Bones roller took a while to play or to build, realizing what all the rules were, the rules and so forth. The one for Solitaire Pro Football, which I can't share, but that one I had to enter all the facts in manually. So
Really?
I ordered several fact packs from the company and hand entered all the results. And
All
so
528
times 3.
Oh
So
wow!
you get in a pretty good rhythm.
Yes.
And so you can you see them on the screen and you just start entering them. And
So it's you I owe that thank you to then.
yes.
Okay.
I did that, and I've specialized the ones. So the ones I share with like Hockey Bones or the ones for Solitaire Pro Football, the ones I use have data from the actual sets in there. So I will have for Solitaire Pro Football, it'll call out who the runner is or the receiver is,
Right.
and a lot of that information's in there. So I take that from the set and build it in. So it's just one of those things. Like people build seasons to do replays, and I do that a lot too. Play like 3 or 4 games of a replay, but I will build a roller and play the game. So I'm doing payoff pitch now. So I've done that, which again is pretty easy, but it's all the data, all the little lookups go in there. Just one of the things I enjoy doing.
You might want to contact Joe about that because he was trying to figure out how to make that playable for me as far as an Excel version.
I've talked with Joe several times, and
If you need someone to help you with that, let me know.
okay, I know he's seen it. I did ask him before I did my first video on that if it was okay with him that I did. So I can. I'll send him an email and see if he's okay with me sharing that. It is, again, it's really easy for me to put. I take the PDFs, I cut them into images for each card, and from there it's just pictures that are getting brought in as the batters come up, the pitchers come in.
Okay.
Do you ever play anything cards and dice? Did you mostly play on that Excel?
I now play all on Excel. I started cards and dice. One of the things that happened, I hurt my back, and I don't know if this is the reason why. I do sit at a desk a lot, but I think it was a hockey game, not ones that we've talked about so far today, but it was constant line change and bending forward and coming back and bending forward, coming back, and my back started to hurt. And it just, when I played that game a lot, my back hurt more. So I kind of moved towards Excel.
That's what happened for you, Dave, with one of the hockey games is that you rolled so much that you hurt your shoulder, right?
I did, yeah, because it was like roll after roll, and I did. I got pains in my shoulder from it, just from overuse. As stupid as it sounds, but when you get to be our age, anything you do repetitively, I'm pulling laundry out, I've hurt my arm.
I was talking with Al Wilson, and because he used to live out where I was, and we were talking about before the golf game from Play came out, and he was showing me that, and I told him that the same thing. If I roll a lot, my elbow will start to hurt. And he kind of laughed, and it's like, yeah, I'm getting old. That's just kind of what it is. So I try to put things onto Excel as much as I can, and it just limits the movement. And then score sheets I still on my desk, but everything else, as much as I can, I will put. I've done red, white, and blue racing. Put all the little cars on there, and I move them around on the track. Some games lend themselves to it, some don't.
Now, Keith, you're the one that has been working on helping me out with the Hockey Bones Excel helper and the APPA helper, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yep.
And that
I love that. I like when you play with it. It's great. It makes me pull it out all the time and play Hockey Bones. Got to play more Kings.
What that has done between the APPA hockey and the Hockey Bones, it has saved so many hours of rolling and rolling and rolling. So what it does is it rolls all the dice for you. It's on the screen, whether you use it or not. Those rolls are there, so you can see, you know, who gets the face off, what's the main roll for the guy with the puck, and then okay, he's going to get a shot. Okay, is it on net? Does the goalie make the save? Where's the rebound go? You know, all that stuff's right there, and it just saves you from picking up dice and what happens next. What happens next? And as fun as that is, I play the game so much faster when I look at the screen. It's like, okay, this guy gets the puck. What would be the next roll? Oh, it's a 52. That's this. Okay, what's that next roll? That's this. That's this. So you get the 4 or 5 rolls that you need right there, you know. And it's like perfect. It's like, oh man, this is so good. Everything's right there. So I don't have to pick up the dice and roll and roll and roll and roll and roll. It's all right there. Because I used to roll 2 sets of dice when I played APPA hockey, one for the shooter and one for the goalie, so I wouldn't have to roll twice. Well, now it's all on the screen. It just makes for a faster game. I think when I stream, I like to put that scoreboard up there. I like, you know, I said, look, is there any way you can add the shot in range? Because I was doing that manually. So now we have not only the shots, but the shots in range. And I like to keep track of that for APPA and Hockey Bones, just because those are the tough shots that the goalies need to make the save on. And
on the public one, have I put shots in range?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have buttons for shots and shots. I believe on both APPA and the Hockey Bones Excel helpers. And that works out beautiful because I like to see that, you know, because shots are great, but, you know, when you're playing a game and one team's got like 9 shots in range or one team has 2, it's like, you know, at that point it's probably a 5-0 game or something like that, you know. The goalies don't do a very good – in APPA and – in hockey, especially Hockey Bones, they don't do a good job of making the tough saves like they do with Strat when a goalie check, you know. I think you get a lot more goalie checks in Strat anyway, because that's part of the excitement.
That's one of the things watching you is making me want to branch out and get more games, which is, I'll say that quietly.
Say that no, it's Ron. Ron is the pusher. Ron is the pusher.
The pusher. It's a pusher in this community. So, well, thanks a lot, and you guys enjoy your new year. I will say I went back and looked with my son last night. It was 10 years ago, February 13th, that it got me back into tabletop sports.
Oh, nice.
Net result soccer, and my son was playing soccer at the time, and I went out and got the Premier League set, and then the La Liga set, and so that was February 13th. So I was shocked that 10 years went by that fast. I write the cards for those sets now. And,
oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I make those cards, kind of taking over that community. And it's just, I love what I've turned into. And you guys are a part of that. So I think it's great.
Keith, what's your channel?
It's just my name. So I don't have a name on it. I did, but I took it off. It was out of right field. But I just changed it to my name. I might put a name on there at some point. And I think Dave subscribed, so he might be able to find it for you.
All right. So
yeah, I find him on there, and he's playing the games. He's got the Excel going, and it looks nice. It really does. You can see everything there, and you can tell you put a lot of time into it and in the whole bit. But yeah, every now and then I run into a snag with either APPA or Hockey Bones Excel, and I'm like, hey, can you help me out with this? And he finds the problem and sends it back because I mean I can lay out a chart in Excel, but I don't know how to do all the functions and the formatting and all that stuff there. But you know, the one question I do have for you, Keith, is sometimes whether it's APPA or Hockey Bones in that spreadsheet, when I go to the clock and I change the font, it comes up all that number sign.
Widen the column. The column's too narrow.
If you're widening the column, it won't fit. If it's like if you have that 20 minutes and you change the font and it's too wide, then yeah, it'll come up with the pound sign.
So maybe change the size of the font if I want to use that.
Lessen the size of the font. I think that would be the first thing you could do.
Okay, yeah, because that's the one question I had, and I thought I screwed it up.
No, it's just that it's too big for the cell. Even I know that. So
okay, yeah. Let me show you that right now. Let me share that with you. So I'm going to share my screen.
Now, John, my entire Excel expertise has now been shared.
There you go.
At 20 minutes after 12 on New Year's Day.
All right, so here's what I got here.
Well,
now, that's just the end. That's just the end of the period right now. I think so. If I go to the period, we're good. Okay, so if I want to go here and I say I want to change this to that.
Yeah, shrink the font.
Take the number sign next to it and make it smaller. So just hit the down arrow next to it.
So this right here.
Yep.
Yeah. And
oh, So, okay. All righty. Because there's a couple of fonts here that are really, really good. I don't know if I have them on the new machine, but I used to like the Alien font. That was pretty good. I don't think I have it here. But there's a couple of fonts on here that really had an old look to it, that I used to like to use. Okay, so that would make sense. So if I make that 48, it's going to be too big.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Okay. So yeah, now we have that squared away. So that's pretty good.
It's kind of an important piece there.
But when I did that, I thought I ruined it. I did. I was like, oh man, I wrecked it. I always save an original copy, so anything I modify with colors, whatever. But okay, good. That's good to know that I didn't wreck it. It's just that.
It's
Don't move
oversized.
anything around. If you move it around, it may not work. So
I change colors and fonts. That's all I do. Everything else stays the same, but I'll change colors and I'll change fonts for the teams and the whole bit. So perfect. All right. Well, Keith, thank you for coming by here. Look forward to more of your stuff on your channel and some more help with the Excel.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, guys. Have a great New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, buddy.
Bye-bye.
So we got a full chat going here.
Mm-hmm.
David C comes
Happy New
by.
Year, Big Dave.
And Ben comes by.
Happy New Year, Ben.
And Larry comes by.
Happy New Year, Larry.
And John, who was on earlier, comes.
Yep.
And Jeff.
Hope that's okay. Hello, Jeff.
Keith, who was just on.
Yep.
And DJ.
How you doing, John?
Andrew comes by. JT 2.0, who is way better than JT 1.0. I'm just going to tell you that right now.
Uh-oh.
And we have Roger coming by.
Happy New Year, Roger.
And May.
And Christopher, how are you?
And Larry asked me if I'm awake. Yes, I am.
No,
and
he's
then
not.
Then he said, yay. D. Scott is in the house.
Scotty.
Brian coming by.
Happy New Year, Brian.
Cutter.
Happy New Year, Cutter.
Philip.
Happy New Year, Philip.
And Mark comes by as well.
Most of the people, yes.
And Dave Little. Hi, Dave.
Your birthday from another brother.
And Jeff. Yep. Yeah, that's crazy how much I have in common with that guy there. And let's see who else is in here. Oh, BR comes by.
How you doing, BR? Happy New Year.
And Charles. And Ty.
Happy New Year.
That. And some guy named P-Jet.
Yep.
And JC. JC, I sent you a
Happy
link
New Year.
earlier. All right. Jay Thomas is on deck. Hang on 1 second. I just want to get to my buddy Ray here, who's going to jump on real quick from around the layout. How's it doing, Ray?
Hello, Ray.
What's happening, guys? Happy New Year.
Yeah. We're
Good to
trying
see
to
you
get
both.
our New Year. We didn't do it last night, so we ended up. You know what I did last night? I went over to my brother's house. He cooked a prime rib, which was awesome. And we were sitting around, didn't know what to do. We were bored of our mind, just looking at our phones, and his wife pulls out this game called Blank Slate. Okay, if you've ever heard of Blank Slate.
No.
And what it is, it's 8 people play, and everybody gets a slate. It's about the size of your phone, and it's like a dry erase. And they flip a card, and it's almost like match game. And it's like butter blank. And everybody writes down their answer to butter blank.
Right.
Yep.
And then when everybody puts an answer, you flip it and you see who you match with. If you match with one person, you each get 3 points. If you match with more than one, everybody who matched gets 1 point. So you don't want to take the most common answer that everyone's going to answer. You want to find like the second common answer so someone else will get it and you'll each get 3 points instead of getting 1. But you don't want to get too creative because if you're by yourself, you get 0 points. And so if you can picture that, it just is a fun game. So last night I won the
original match game from the 60s was almost that way.
It was pretty much, that's what it is. It's like everybody flips it over. So instead of having 6 panel members in a contestant, it's just everyone's a panel member and you all get points. I won the first game, and it was human blank. And I matched with my brother because I don't know why. We were just in tune at that point there. And I flipped it over. We each had Human League.
No.
And so he turns around and goes, hey, blah, 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 play Human League. So we were on New Year's Eve playing this game, listening to Human League last
Don't
night.
You Want Me, Baby.
There you go.
I was like, what songs do they do? It was Don't You Want Me, Baby? And there was a couple others.
Fascination.
Like,
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I know these songs. So yeah, so we were listening to Human League last night while playing that game and having a good time.
That's fun.
Nice.
So that is that. But Ray, your podcast is doing pretty well. So congrats on that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we're having a lot of fun over here. Getting 160 envelopes ready to go out for all of the new stickers. Every year I give my operating crew members a new 20 sticker. So the 2025. So I'm addressing 160 envelopes.
Oh, wow.
Which is a lot harder than that I did for, Christmas card season was a warm up compared to this. So
Dave, zoom back in for yourself.
Yeah, my camera, Ray, I can't figure this out. My
Okay.
camera
Just leave it. Yep.
loves zooming in and out. We got a few people in the green room. We'll get you guys at 1 second here.
yeah.
And so that is that. So let me kill that right here. So we got New Year's Eve show. But yeah, your podcast doing well. I've been following that day. You got some great guests and you got some things going on with that. So if you're into trains, go check out Around the Layout podcast. And he does some YouTube videos as well and giveaways. Yeah.
Let's turn the lights
look
on.
at that. The lights go.
Nice.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That
Ray,
is
did
awesome.
you know that Rod Stewart was a huge model train person?
I do know that. And
I was caught
he's-
completely by surprise by that. Dave thought I was kidding when I said that, and it's absolutely not true. It's true.
yeah, he actually would get 3 hotel rooms on the road. He would get a hotel room for himself personally. He would get one for his family. And then the third one was for his modeling. And he would roll in just as much as the roadies were rolling in cases for music
No way.
gear.
Really?
He would roll in cases of modeling equipment and scratch build models or whatever in the third room.
Wow.
And he jokes in other articles and interviews that most rock stars are being thrown out for destroying hotel rooms from breaking lamps and stuff. He would get penalties and fines for spilling glue and paint on the carpet in that third room. So that was how he
Do you know what he
spent
called
his
his
time.
favorite train?
I
What?
don't know.
Maggie.
There you go.
I just made that up.
Where's come on, there's a Roadcaster button for that somewhere. Isn't
Yeah,
there?
oh, you know what I have here? Actually, I got this right here.
You know what it actually would be, because of
What was
he'd see you tonight on his downtown train.
Did you guys hear the react button? I have a
Here,
react button
yeah,
here.
there we go.
That does drums and stuff here. But
Do I have
one?
one? Oh,
There
see,
you
I've
go.
got
Yeah,
one.
I got to reach all the way over here. Nice job. All right, Raymond, thanks for jumping in.
Yeah.
We got some more people coming on, but good luck with the Around the
Hey, you
Layout
guys have-
podcast. I'm sure I'll be in touch with you later on this week.
Good to see you both. Happy New Year and
Happy
have
New
a
Year,
good one.
Ray.
Enjoy. Have fun day.
Yep.
All righty.
We'll catch you soon.
All right, Ray, thanks. All right, we got a triple threat coming up in here, Ron, coming up here on the show, as we're going to bring in some baseball guys to the channel here.
Well, yes.
As we're going to bring in J. Thomas Hetrick. Thanks
Happy
for
New
coming
Year.
on. We got
New Year.
Michael down in Connecticut,
Happy New Year.
partner in crime with the D to Decon. Oh, someone's going to turn their speakers down.
Hey, Al.
Partner in crime with the D to Decon. Yep. Michael, you got to turn your speakers down. We're getting a wicked echo. Yeah, hang on a sec. Michael, you got to turn your speakers down. We're getting a wicked echo. Yeah, we're getting a lot of. Yeah, hang on a sec. Michael, you got to turn your speakers down. All right, I'm going to mute Michael for 1 second here. It's really loud. And Alan coming on as well.
Alan, how are you?
Hey. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
So, JT, we'll start with you. You joined first here. And we still talk about that Spiders book and that Spiders replay.
That's great.
And you got your 80s baseball game, and I'm assuming you're going to be bringing that to Connecticut, right?
Yes, I will be.
Okay. All right, that'll be good there. And I'm hoping you're going to tell some good baseball stories, too, in Connecticut.
I think I have a few left over.
Oh, you got something that you haven't told us yet.
Only about 1 million of them. What's the old line from the comedian? I got 1 million of them. Yeah,
Right.
I got 1 million of them.
I just started reading Ball 4.
Okay.
I started listening to that there. Supposedly that was a real controversial book at the time, from what
Yes.
people are saying. And so I started listening to that on the Audible there. I'm in the early stages. He's talking about building up to his time when he played with the Pilots and the whole bit. But yeah, he was talking a lot of stuff that I could see how baseball wouldn't be happy that people were talking about. You know,
It was honest in an era when all sports were glorified. I mean, we laugh today at the shot of Lenny Dawson with the Fresca and the lung dart at the Super Bowl, but that was the type of stuff that they didn't want people seeing around. And so, Boughton writes about all the stuff going on in the locker room. That was really controversial.
Yeah, it made a lot of people upset too. But it you got to peek into what was going on in baseball, and I'm on the part where all the players are looking up the skirts of all the girls in the stand, and it's like, come over here during the national anthem. They're like, oh yeah, that's a beauty, I don't think they have that anymore because they have the different stands laid out. I don't think you can look up anymore, but and now they'd have cameras everywhere too, so you'd see that everywhere, But anyway,
They would also look down from the hotel roof.
Oh yeah,
Sure.
that's right too. I think I read that. Yeah, they would
Mickey
look.
Mantle and Whitey Ford and Jim Boughton, the whole gang, they would look down at people from the roof. No one knew they were there. And I won't say the name of what they called that exercise. You
That's
can
probably
read it
in the
for
book.
yourself.
Yeah, read it for yourself. So what was the deal with the Seattle Pilots? Why did they play 1 year and then bolt?
Well, start with the fact that their stadium was named Six Stadium. That's SICKS. Start there. The fact is they didn't draw flies, but they I think had some successful minor league teams up in that area. But they weren't a major league team. That the stadium wasn't quite ready for prime time. So they moved. They moved right away to Milwaukee.
Plus, it rained every day.
There was
Yeah,
a lot
you
of
got
lot
that
of
right.
pressure, a lot of pressure after the A's moved to Oakland. Congressional pressure to expand sooner rather than later. The AL wanted to go in 71, and they were told that it would lose their antitrust if they didn't do it. So they had Kansas City they had to take because they had lost the A's, and that was the other market. And so they simply just were not ready, as JT said. They just were not ready, and they moved. It's kind of interesting because both of the teams that Milwaukee got, the Braves in '53 and the Brewers in '70, were spring training moves. They started spring training in one city, Boston for the Braves and Seattle for the Brewers. But during that respective spring training, they both moved to Milwaukee.
Interesting. Now, Alan, what games have you been playing? Because I've been playing some games, and you've been helping me out, but I've been playing a bunch of different games.
I've tried a lot of different baseball games where I've done complete team replays all the way through. I season ticket baseball. I did the 1969 Senators and Pilots.
Ooh.
Much like you, Dave, picked those wonderful teams. And I was inspired by that author about the Senators book that you had on.
He was good.
And played it with the as played lineups, and it really went well. And Seattle played exactly, and they both came over the 162 games within 3 or 4 games of what they actually did. So the engines for these games really are amazingly accurate when you play them out that much. And Seattle must have used about 55 guys over that time.
Dave, zoom in again.
Oh, did I bump out again?
Yep.
I love how the camera does this automatically.
There you go.
It's really kind of fun.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Alan.
Yeah. So I finished that, and I started a similar with the theme of expansion. I just started in replay baseball, dice and cards. The 1961 American League season, the first year of the new Washington Senators and the Los Angeles Angels. And I'm trying to play all the games, but that'll take forever. But
Yeah.
I'm not making it a total priority where I go nuts with it, but try to play a game or two every day or so and just keep advancing it. And I recently was able to get. Have you tried the game day on Pocket Pennant Run yet? They've had a lot of problems, but I finally was able to get that thing working.
On the saw, I have it. I'm not sure if I have the newest one because I'm on the email list, and when it works, it's great.
Yeah.
It is. You can play any game. Actually, it gives you the ability to log in whatever. It'll sim games for you, and the whole bit. It's just, again, you do something on that. You don't know what you did, and then you get an error message or something like that. So they're still working out the bugs. But when it works, it is super fun.
Yeah, they've been great and very responsive when you have bugs, because you're back with version 2 where you just had the roster sheets and the cards, and I was playing it manually, and I was playing the 1965 New York Mets. Odd choice, but I was a kid then and rooted for the Mets growing up in New York, and that era.
That would be about the only reason why anyone would do the 65 Mets.
To see if I could get to the 50 wins that they managed to conjure up. But the problem was you sim all the other games, which was fine. Then you had to enter your box score. You had to enter the box score manually, which they had a provision for. And invariably, I got about 30, 35 games in, and then I started getting error messages. And it's like the whole thing was just stuck. So they went back and forth looking at the databases, and they really helped me out and got the thing working again. Then they came out with the game day. So I tried to switch to that. And the first version of that, like you saw, Dave, it was crashing constantly when I was trying to do it. So the latest version, I have working, but I haven't done much with it yet. And I found I really can't do it on my laptop, which is what I do most things on, because the screen just isn't big enough with the resolution to get the whole game with all the buttons. So you got to go to something bigger. So I'm kind of in transition for a lot of things now. I'm going to switch to a larger computer, get a new desk. I'm kind of in transition to help my eyes out because I have a lot of problems with close-up vision the last year. So I'm working on a lot of that. And I've also bought Solitaire Pro Football, and I got season ticket football. And I'm going to start playing around with those and reading the instructions.
You'll enjoy them both. They both
they're fun.
Because I've watched you guys, and it really looks enjoyable. And my son ordered me the Al Wilson football field with the timer extension.
Those are gorgeous.
So that I should be getting soon. And I just ordered all the right colored dice, because I didn't have everything you really need in place for all the colors and the choices. So once I get all the hardware in, I'll be ready to roll with that.
Did you see that Al re-released the PDF so you can print out the city names? That went up in the last day or two on the Facebook group. So
I saw that.
You can print your own, so you can make your own cutouts to go into those. I know that Dave, was that Al's thing you did for the hockey, or was that something that came with it as a separate file for the hockey names? Because you were cutting those the other night.
Yeah, no, those names I printed. I just measured and printed. So what I did. So he did something very similar on his page there. So that way you could just print it out and cut it.
So no matter what you're doing for a football or baseball game, such as 80s baseball, you can have that scoreboard for you there and
play any game at all.
It just looks really, really sharp.
That software for Pocket Pen and Run, I did a lot of beta testing before the first one come out in version 3. This is going back a few months, and a lot of my suggestions ended up in the version how you saw it. It says we moved some things around, and I said you need to click on the dice to roll it, and he added that. So there was a few things that we did in that in the beginning, and then somebody else did some testing after that. But some of the little things in there were added after.
Paul Fay is doing a lot of good testing and is doing a lot of videos based on that. So if you look for, I don't know if that's his YouTube channel or not, but
do you know we have a Seattle Pilots season ticket holder in our chat room?
We do, Scotty, right? Ding, 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 ding,
I don't know if he's a season ticket holder, but it sounded real good, didn't it? So he might have went to one game. I don't even know it was the Pilots, but we're going to say he was a season ticket holder just to get some internet clout going today. And Cutter Historical says Seattle moaned about that move to Milwaukee, and they got an AL expansion team in 77. So that was going on with that. David C. comes by and says Pilot ownership were woefully underfunded from the start. They couldn't catch up with the loans. Yeah. You see a lot of that in the 60s and 70s that the new expansion teams, the NHL teams didn't last either. There was too much to join the league. They didn't give them a fighting chance. No one wants to see a team lose 100 games a year, no matter what sport it is. And it's just like, forget it. So JT, Mr. JT, I have something here to show you. This just came in the mail. I was going to do an unboxing, but we're here, so we'll do it now. This just came in the mail the other day.
Ooh.
Okay.
1871. So I have the 1871 season.
Okay.
Okay. In the APPA style.
Okay.
So this is from Chris White.
The National Association. It predates the National League.
Yep.
That's right.
So this just arrived today or the other day. So I have I think it's 8 teams. So I got the Rockford. And I don't even know how many guys are on each team, but I have the
Very
Rockford
few.
Forest Cities. Okay,
Yep.
and this is the first one I could find on the reference page. And Ron is right. I don't even think it was Major League Baseball at the time. It was
It's
the National.
considered to be the first major league season.
So then we have the Fort Wayne Kiki gas stations. I don't know what to call that.
Gas pumpers.
There's no one from the family who's going to object to however you said that, Dave. So
We have
I
the
think it's an Indian word. That's
Boston
probably
Red
the best
Stockings.
guess.
you got to think this is 1871. This is not 1971. You know, it is 1871. And when I look back on Baseball Reference, each team had like 3 pitchers. They didn't have any relief pitchers. Everybody just pitched the whole game. So that's what I love about this. I don't have to worry about bringing in relief pitchers. The Chicago White Stockings is another one. And then we have a bunch of New York teams. I imagine in 1870, I don't even know if California was settled in 1871, was it?
yes,
Was it?
the
Okay.
gold 1849, the gold rush.
So I know when we have when Jay Thomas talked to us the last time, he was talking about how going west beyond St. Louis on a train was risky, you know, with all the Cowboys and Indians, which was a real thing at that point still in 1899. So that's why they didn't go too far. But I have the Troy Haymakers.
And they would eventually become the New York Giants.
That's why you're here. That's why you're here. And then we have this must be a insurance company, right? The New York Mutuals. They probably would come up with a safari show in the 70s for TV, I would think,
Hey,
right?
Dave, can I tell you my favorite team nickname?
Hang on, I got 2 more to show you.
Okay, great.
No, I got 3 more to show you. Oh, these
Okay,
colors are
let's
very
hear it.
similar. So we have the Cleveland Forest Cities.
Cleveland Forest Cities, yeah.
So this is weird. So we have the Rockford Forest Cities and the Cleveland Forest Cities.
It's just like the Rough Riders in the CFL.
I wonder if they were the same team, because it looks like I have more than 8 teams here. We have the Washington Olympics. So I'm assuming that's Washington, D.C., not Washington State.
Right,
Yeah.
Washington, D.C.
And then we have the Philadelphia Athletics. So it looks like I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm willing to bet that Rockford and Cleveland maybe merged. Do you think? I mean, why would it be 9 teams, not 8? In 1871.
The schedules were very haphazardly done. And
Okay.
in fact, there were teams that played just 4 or 5 games and other teams that played 50 games. It was and it was
There
more
were
of a
9 teams.
challenge. It was not really a schedule. It was more of a challenge. You know, we challenge you to play. We have the
Really?
money. We'll travel to your city or vice versa. And it was very, very disorganized. And if you look at the number of games they played, it's not really a schedule. And that plagued the National Association for their entire existence.
All right, so this is what I got here. Let me see if I don't know if I can blow this up without screwing up everything. Does that help? Hopefully.
Mhm.
Yeah, it does. Okay. So that's what we got. So there are 9 teams. And you can see Rockford played 20. Oh, they all played about 28 to 30 games.
Yeah, other years were even more haphazard than that.
So if I
But
were to,
you can see they don't have an even number of games.
yeah.
And
So if I were to click on the Boston Red Stockings, oh, these guys played 19. And these guys played 28, 30, 28, 23.
33.
Yeah. that's
33.
great. So let me click on
33 and so on.
let's click on Fort Wayne and let's go to their schedule and results. And so it's a little too big. Let me back that off. So yeah, that they played what from May to, well, they only played 5 games a month. Yeah. They only played 5 games a month. Obviously there's no box score here, but it does give you the winning pitcher. Well, let me click on opening day. What's opening day going to tell us? Nothing.
Just the standings.
Just the final score. Yeah. But it does tell you the winning pitcher and the losing pitcher on some of them, not all of them. But if you were to click on this team again, so this is the Fort Wayne gas stations.
Right.
So you got 18 guys, and it looks like they have one pitcher. One pitcher.
Makes it easy to manage. You know, that's going to be Bobby Matthews.
They're also pitching underhand, and they're not pitching competitively at that point in time.
Oh, that's a good
They
point.
were throwing the ball up there similar to a sport where you just put the ball in play. They were not pitching to get outs. They were pitching to put the ball in play. That's very important in 19th
that's a
century
good
baseball. Up at that point.
Look at that.
point.
Like 7-year-old
200
little league.
243 runs and only 97 earned.
Yeah.
Oh my! I mean, that's
Yeah,
that.
and they didn't have gloves also until about 1893.
That's
Everybody
a good
had
point
gloves.
too. Holy
Oh
cow!
my
Yeah.
word!
So I do
But
have his.
the ball is still going very fast,
Yes,
and they could get an outfield an outfielder could make a play on a fly ball on one bounce back in those days. So a one bounce would be an out if you caught it.
batting average of 239.
Yeah. So
And you could throw it at the runner. You could soak the runner,
here's his card.
which was very, very
Grade D.
problematical for the runner.
He's a grade D pitcher. Fast runner. And whatever
Yeah,
else.
again, they're not pitching competitively. They're throwing underhand to get the ball somewhere over the plate. The batter could even request
High or low, right?
So if he pitches
middle,
19, how is he 6-11 if he pitched 19 games? That's
Ties.
Also, the record keeping was not very, very good back then as well. Now,
That is
Baseball
true.
Reference and Sabre have done a lot of work in that regard, but the records are still very incomplete as they are with the Negro Leagues.
did they have a tie here?
Yeah, ties could happen too.
Oh, okay. There's one game that it doesn't show the pitches in the catch. Let me show you that here so we can take a look at that. So let me go back to this, and we'll load that on the screen. So you can see there's one game there that there's no pitchers here. That's so every other game he's in, right? Matthews. So Matthews played in every single game, but this one here, actually these two games here, that doesn't say who pitched.
And one's a 10-inning game and one's a 6-inning game. And Matthews must have been hammered on the 21st because they lost 21-0.
Where was
Yes,
that?
the players did imbibe quite a bit.
Against Boston. Yeah, look at that. It's 1,500 people for this game,
Yep,
supposedly,
at home.
after an opening day of 200. Oh, that was a Saturday too, so maybe that helped. And then 2,000 here on Saturday here.
Yeah, it's Chicago.
So interesting. Yeah. So and that's some good points you bring up, JT, as far as them pitching underhand and just kind of getting the ball over the plate and something like that, So and D. Scott said he used to listen to the pilots on the radio from Central Washington. Jim Dudley on the mic. So that's kind of interesting. And Cut Historical says, I wish PC Replay Baseball would do the real old seasons or even the Federal League. I enjoyed the Federal League. I got the 1915 for APPA, and I'm enjoying it just because of the names. We went over those names,
Did you want
Everyone's-
to hear the greatest nickname in baseball history?
Yeah, I do.
You got to hear this. So in 1884, there was a competitive league that competed with the National League and the American Association at that time. And it was a disaster from the go. It was called the Union Association. Basically, the St. Louis team scarfed up all the real great talent, and all the other teams were subservient to the St. Louis owner, Henry Lucas. But there was a team in that league that is very little known today because they only played for that one season, and they were out of Rochester, New York. Well, the guy that owned the team, and I wish I knew his name, and I'd have to look it up again somewhere, but the man who owned the team was a cough drop magnate. He sold cough drops, and the name of the cough drop was the Hop Bitters. So they were made partly from hops and, hop bitters, some of the ingredients that you would put in a beer, right? So he called his team the Rochester Hop Bitters. And he insisted, because he was the owner of the team, that all of the players take a throat lozenge before the game. Well, don't laugh. It worked half the time because they won half of their games, never to be heard from again. So if you're taking a hop bitter, yeah, you can get some ginger back in those days. That was the term for having a lot of athletic ability or vitality, as they say. Vim, vigor, and vitality. The other thing I wanted to say, Dave, is that we, being me, have been very busy in the 80s baseball new team creation. So if you want to, yeah, that's funny. If you want to order the entire 1980 World Series teams, you can order them as one order.
Oh, nice.
And we're going through the decades. So we also have the aughts. That would be 1903 when the first World Series happened. They did not play in 1904, all the way up to 1909. So for one price, you can get all of the World Series teams. So if you're into the project mode and you want to play that 1985 St. Louis Cardinals season that was robbed from them by a horrendous call at first base by umpire Don Denkinger, not to mention names of umpires, but he's the guy that robbed the Cardinals of a call late in the game 6. And of course, the Cardinals went on to lose game 7, 10-0, when my favorite nickname player of the day, Walking Underwear, Walking Andujar, who coined the famous baseball term. Oh my gosh, what is that? What is that term? It was just one word, but it was 4 or 5 words put together.
You can sum it up in one word. You never know.
Yeah, it was like from the German. It was like a Germanism. I'm trying to think of the name. Oh my goodness, it's in one of my books, as a matter of fact. But anyway, you could look it up somewhere. But Walking Underwear was thrown out in the first inning of that game for arguing balls and strikes, and the Cardinals never recovered. They lost the World Series.
When
if you
Daryl
want to replay the World Series and you're a Cardinals fan, you could do that. Or if you were a Milwaukee fan in '82 and you were kind of saddened that they lost to the Cardinals in '82, they had a much better power team, although the Cardinals had all the Jackrabbits under Whitey Herzog. You can replay those. So you can do this by the decade. I've started with the 80s. The 80s are done. The aughts are done. And I'm moving through the calendar to move all the way up through 1989 at least, and then maybe beyond.
Nice. All right. We got to bring in this guy real quick. I want to bring him in.
Dave.
Our buddy, Sportsman Z. How
Hey,
you
Bob.
feeling, buddy?
How's it going, everyone?
Good.
So how you doing? We need to ask that.
Yeah, I'm doing really well. I feel good. The treatments have gone as well as the doctor could have hoped, so everything's good so far.
Fantastic. That's good to hear. And what have you been playing? I saw you still putting up videos.
Yeah. I just put up a football game between the '85 Bears and last year's Lions, and it was a really good game.
Oh, good.
And you're doing cards and dice for that, right?
Yeah, cards and dice on that one. Yeah.
I've been listening late at night because you those come up late at night, and I put those on. I listen when I go to sleep, and it's like listening to football on the radio. It's really kind of fun, but it's fun, and it's just kind of what I try to do when I play. Is I give the result, so I'm like, okay, I roll the 21. That means this, and so he carries the ball, whatever it is, and I like it because you can follow along with the game engine as well as the game results. So I like how you do that. It's kind of good to see. And yes, so we got some Sportsman Z fans in here. So yes, it's good to see Sportsman Z still playing games and doing his thing. Did you what'd you say? You lost the Bears in one of your seasons? Is that the team you lost?
Yeah, they were in with another team or another season, it turns out. So I found that season, I found the Bears in there, and then I pulled them and decided to play them against last year's Lions.
Now, do you have the you must have the '85 Bears, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I have that in APPA. I haven't played them yet, but I plan on playing that. I'm enjoying the football. It does take a long time to play,
Yeah, it does.
but it is so good. It really is. When you're playing this, it wasn't until I played some of those long play football games like Second Season and APPA and Solitaire Pro and stuff like that I was like, it's the time doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how long it takes to play. If you're enjoying the game, if it takes you 15 minutes or if it takes you 3 hours, if you're having fun, that's all that matters.
Right, and this was a particularly fun game. It was a really good game, high scoring game too.
So nice. Are you playing anything else, or are you just kind of sticking with the football right now?
I am doing some baseball every once in a while. I'm going to have a baseball game going up between two teams of Hall of Fame players, and that'll go up on Friday.
Okay. And are you going to be trying anything new this year?
No, I don't anticipate trying anything new. I mean, I still have sets like I have payoff pitch, and I know you've done a few payoff pitch games recently. But as far as like new, and I haven't had them before, I probably not.
Okay. Yeah, I tried to play payoff pitch last night, but I keep going back and forth to that game. It's a love-hate relationship with that game, and
Yeah.
sometimes I love it and it's great and it's fun, and other times I'm in the rule book the entire game, and it just takes you right out of the fun of it.
The thing I like about it is it meshes the pitcher and batter result
Oh
together,
yes, yeah,
instead of like being like Strat-o-matic where it's one or the other.
yeah,
so.
yeah. Our next show we're gonna be talking about that as far as in games. Somebody brought up the fact that in season ticket football, on a pass play, it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Sometimes it's like, so why wouldn't the quarterback come into play on every pass play? Well,
Right.
for the same reason in Strat-o-matic that the pitcher doesn't come into play on every at bat, and things like that. So that's one of the things we're going to talk about on the next show. And again, is it even possible to get everybody involved in a play that's involved in a play without making you do 37 checks and 37 dice rolls to get a ground ball to second base?
Yeah.
So I mean, so that's one thing we're going to talk about there too. So I think, we did a show called Trusting the Game. You got to trust the game engine to get it right. At the end of the day, after you've played the game, do you feel like things worked out pretty well, or did they not? And why? But it's easy just to look and say, oh, this ain't going to work. And I don't like this. And I don't like the fact that this, you didn't check the pitcher or didn't check the quarterback. But at the end of the game, do your stats line up? Are they pretty believable? And
I was a little concerned because the Bears defense gave up a lot of points to the Lions, but I look back in the actual season, they lost to Miami and they actually allowed like 38 points to Miami. So I figured, okay, well, then that is something that could possibly have happened.
So yeah, we just got to have some fun with that. Cutter Historical says you might get the Confessions of a Tabletop Gamer book from J.T. Thomas. J. Thomas Hetrick, sorry about that. BR comes by, wishing the best for Sportsman Z. And so anyway here. Alan, let's go back to Alan 1 second. I feel like I've been kind of putting you off to the side here. What are your plans for 2025 as far as gaming goes?
Well, I'm going to continue to slowly work on my 1961 replay of the American League. I'm going to start those football games once I get the hang of them. I'm looking forward to that. And once I get a bigger screen that I can really see the helpers on, I want to play more of some of the hockey games. Hockey Bones especially, which I've only played a couple of games on. And the hardest thing for me is seeing the small print on the cards.
Yeah.
So
I've seen some people that actually use magnifying glasses for that.
I have my official 3D
there you go.
magnifier right here.
Yeah.
Which I've had to use in the last year.
You hate to say that you have to use that on some games,
but when you do, you do.
But if it helps you play the game, I mean, again, you can't make the cards this big, they got to be a certain size. So, but if that helps you find what's on the card, then then there you go, right? I mean, that if it works, it works. I mean, we all do certain things. I have lights that are certain ways so I can read the cards, and I have it set up, my own way so I can get at things. And so, yeah, whatever works, is what it is,
Right. So a lot of those kind of adjustments to be able to play more things over the next year. And I'm happy to always help you as bench coach for some of the obscure baseball.
Yeah, didn't you told me to put in somebody the other day and it worked out, right?
At different times. I remember in your Strat-o-matic tournament, bringing Chip Lang in for those expos was the key relief move.
It is fun when you're sitting there streaming live and someone's like, "Hey, what should I do here?" And you're like, "Pinch hit this guy," and you pinch hit. And
when it works, it actually looks like you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it does. It does. Last night, joking around, it was World's Worst Gamer says put in, was it Ralph Garr or somebody like that from Toronto in '77? It was like one of the worst pitches ever to
Mike
play.
Darr, the relief pitcher.
Okay, yeah, he put him in as a joke, and I'm like, I was aggravated at that point, so I put in this guy who was supposed to just like walk everybody.
Oh yeah,
and he had a 1-2-3 inning. All right, so I'll play him again.
Baseball's a funny game,
It is. It is.
Thanks for having me on. I wish you guys the best. And if my vision is permitting, I'm going to wait till closer to it to sign up for Connecticut to see if I'm able to drive 4.5 hours, which probably I can, but I'll wait and see a little longer.
I hope so. It'd be fun. It's fun to see Connecticut. We already get 25 or 26 people now signed up for that. I think it's going to be a fun time, just getting together and hanging out. I want to do more game playing. When I went to the Hall of Fame, I didn't do much game playing. I did a lot of working and interviewing and talking, but I'd like to do some of that. But now that it's a lot closer, so I'll be able to get in and out, and be easier for me. That I want to get some gaming in. I want to sit and play. I'm hoping I can sit down and play some more APPA football with St. Patrick, and a couple other people. Just play a quarter or something, or a period or something. I like showing off different games. I think at the time season ticket football was still in beta, so I enjoyed showing that off. And a couple other people had games that they were playing, and it's just because I've never played with anybody really, and not that I want to play against people, but it's fun when you're sitting around playing a game you like with a buddy and you're just chatting. It's really kind of fun. And then learning other games, and a lot of the fun was just watching. Just watching people play other games and seeing how they played it in the whole bit and the whole bit. So, and I know we're going to have some storytellers. J. Thomas Hetrick says he's got a million baseball stories. So we're going to have to carve out some time for him so he can tell some stories, because I love listening to his stories. When we had him on twice already, the first time he went off on some stories, and it was great. Just stuff that you didn't know about, and just the things that happened. And it's just, it's fun listening to that stuff. It really is, when you get somebody on that knows his stuff. So I'm kind of hoping he'll do some of that for us there in Connecticut as well. So, but Alan, yeah, thanks for coming by. Appreciate you stopping in on the chat room and helping me play some of these games.
And have a great year, guys.
With baseball, I don't know what I'm doing. So when someone says put in this guy, I'll put him in, and we all have a good time. Otherwise, I'm going to be putting in that guy there from Toronto that I know nothing about.
Toronto, it really never mattered in '77.
That's true.
Yeah, I can't screw up Toronto, so. That's why I want to get 77 is to play that, because I like the expansion teams. I have 69 and payoff pitch, but I'm struggling with payoff pitch, but I'll figure it out. I know I will. So, but thanks for coming by, Alan.
Thanks, guys.
Happy New Year, Alan.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah. Happy New Year.
And yeah, John says he wished the Strat card font was bigger, especially as he gets older. Yep, I know. I hear that. And let me see. Robert jumps in as well. He likes the Sportsman Z games from Chicago and always a Chicago fan. I mainly play Strat baseball, football, and hockey.
Yep, that's just what I do too.
What's going on with the Blackhawks? They got this 18-year-old phenom, and they're in last place again. That's too bad.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think the last time we had a guy that was going to turn the league around, and he ended up in last place on a bad team. I don't even know who that player would be.
Oh, Eichel. Jack Eichel in Buffalo.
Yes, yeah. Didn't he end up in Vegas and win the cup?
Yes.
Good for him. Good for him.
But Buffalo has struggled with some.
They always seem to trade their good players to other teams. like Eichel, and there was a couple of other guys too that they've traded over the years.
Was it LaFontaine? Didn't they send LaFontaine
to
Islanders or something?
Yeah, the Island. I think the Islanders. Yeah,
and they made that run in '93. You know who was creeping up on a playoff spot?
Who's
It's
that?
Montreal. They've finally got healthy. They had that goalie
Really?
that went down into Florida, and in his first game had a shutout. They beat Tampa the next night, and then they beat Vegas, and so they're now in that wild card race. They're actually in it. They're don't have a spot, but on those top two, they're fourth.
yeah.
And so it would be nice to see the Habs in the playoffs again.
If you say so.
Keep backing out and flickering there, Gardner.
Am I still backing out and flickering? Oh, man.
Yeah, you just did. It'd be one of those things. It'd be nice, if the Habs play the Bruins in the playoffs.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't expect.
I used to love, back in the day when it was 1-18, and you could get Boston, Montreal in the finals, Boston, New York in the finals. It just nowadays it's East-West. When they changed to that, I remember seeing some really great West games with like Colorado, Detroit, or Detroit, St. Louis, or somebody like that. Excuse me. And it was so much better than the Stanley Cup Finals. And it's like, why can't we have that as the Stanley Cup Finals? Nope, we got to have this side get a winner and this side get a winner, and they're going to play no matter what. And it's just, come on.
Yeah, I liked when they had when they did ties and they counted tie as 1 point and a win it was 2 points, and the point system made sense. Now you go into overtime and you get a point for losing in overtime, and the winning team gets 2 points for winning, and that's 3 points total. And it doesn't really make sense. It was better when it was just 2 points was assigned to every game. And you either won the game and got both points, or there was a tie and each of you got one.
Everyone split, yeah.
I just like the 1-16. I remember as a kid, probably 75 or 76, the Bruins opened up against the Kings in round 1. Again, you're flying Boston to LA. I get it. There's cost involved in the whole bit, but it really filtered out, what was happening.
Yeah.
Well, right now we have 0 viewers. I don't know if we just went off the air or what, but so I don't know if our show crashed or not.
Still saying that we're live. There's a clock there.
Yeah, no, we're still going. Yeah, we're still going here. But yeah, my counter up here is saying 0. But if we're still on, we're still on.
Yeah.
So that's good. And Cutter Historical says the Sabres haven't been in the playoffs since 2011.
Yeah, that's a long time.
That is a long time. Yeah. Okay. So everyone's still here. Alrighty. It's again on my screen. It's showing 0 people watching here. Just want to make sure things are going okay. So if we're still here, then we're still here, and that's all that really matters. And it's still on out for all the Seattle Pilots season ticket holders. So that is good. All right. Yeah, I don't know why that reset. It could be again, this software is kind of janky that we're using now. I really wish StreamYard had just held strong, but they wanted to, charge me $900 a year. Ain't gonna happen. Not going up from 400, that's for sure. So, but anyway, here. So, so I think, like I say, I'm kind of falling back into my APPA. APPA's my safe spot. It just, because when I play APPA, especially APPA football, it just feels like football, and I think we all have that game. I think Sportsman Z, when you play your Strat football, it feels like a football game to you, Yeah. Ron, when he plays his action PC baseball, it feels like he's playing
solitaire pro football, for sure.
In solitaire pro football, okay. Tim's come by, and BR is still with us. That's all that matters. We got to make sure that BR.
Yeah, no, I'm still in the chat number.
Yeah, that's just kind of weird that it reset. The software is kind of clunky, but it kind of works for the price I'm paying, so I'll be happy with that. But yeah, when you get done a game, no matter what the game is, and it feels like you just watched or took part in an actual game, that is that's what we do this for. That's what I really enjoy about it. So for me, like I said, the APPA games just work, and they're simple, and there's this, I'm never digging in the APPA rule book. Let's just say that I never have to dig into the rules. Even when I play Strat Basic once in a while, I'm like, okay, what happens on this again? Let me check on that. Oh, and Andrew, thank you. Andrew said he enjoyed the APPA kicking contest.
That was fun.
That was more fun than I thought it would be. Just going back to 76.
Janko Wanko. I really wanted the Buffalo kicker, Jankowitz or Janko Wanko or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I really want him to be from like Lackawanna or something like that, because that was perfect for Buffalo,
Yeah.
George Janko Wankowitz from Lackawanna, with a kicker, and it turned out he was from Belgium. But Pat Leahy, that was
our
fun.
3 finalists, right? We had Jack Owenko from the Bills, Fred Cox from the Vikings, and Pat Leahy from the Jets were our 3 people in the last round. And Leahy hit from, what was it, 57?
57 yards, yeah.
And the other 2 guys failed, and Pat Leahy won the kicking contest. So
it was rigged. Danilo lost in the first.
Yeah, we had 4 kickers missed an extra point in 1976. And they were out the door. Joe Danello, I think, was one of them, right?
Yeah,
he missed.
Was Danello, Jim Bakken?
Jim Bakken from St. Louis.
Jan Stenerud, I think, crashed
Jan
out.
Stenerud from the Chiefs, who I thought would go far. Yep. Dave Green from the Buccaneers actually got to round 3 or 4 before he lost.
That was fun. I mean, that was,
I already have an idea for my next one. That was fun, but it took a little while to kind of filter through the first couple of rounds, which are just easy peasy kicks. I know it was fun eliminating guys on extra points, but I have a couple of ideas to kind of speed things up the next time around, is to as far as that goes. But that was fun, and the fun thing about that, and here's what I'm trying to do this year, Ron and Sportsman Z and everybody here in the chat room. Here's what I'm trying to do this year is, I got all my seasons behind me here. I got all the stuff in the box behind me here. I got some strat over here, some payoff pitch over here. I want to start using the seasons. Okay. I want to get those seasons on the table. Even some of my PC games, I want to get that going here on the show and on my channel, whether I stream or not. And I just feel like if I've played this week 2 games from 1975 APPA football. Okay, I played 2 games this week, and one of them was it Minnesota Cleveland, and then I played the Colts and the Bills. Right, O.J. Simpson was in that game, and that must have taken me 8 hours. It takes me 45 minutes to an hour to set up, 3 hours for the game. So call it 4 and put away. So 4 hours for each game to have those cards on my table, start to finish. I'm 8 hours into 1975. So how I rationalize it is I've got 8 hours into that. So whatever I paid for that season, but the APPA football is expensive, I've got 8 hours of enjoyment out of that. And I still have it. It's not like it's not like a meal where you eat and it's gone. So it's not like I go to a restaurant, had an $80 meal. Oh, that's great. That was some good crispy duck, and then and that's it. It's gone.
Yeah, it's expensive, and also I heard that they give you a lot of cards that never actually get used during the game.
Potentially.
Sometimes. You'd be surprised how many times you do look up some of the odd guys. I mean, you got your skill guys, quarterback, running back, receivers. Those are your big guys. So you have 6 or 7 cards that you're always looking at. But you never know what's going to happen on an interception or a fumble if it's picked up by somebody, and you got to look at their card to see what happens. There's even a rare play in APPA football where one of the linemen tries to throw a pass. And so you have to have his card to look it up. It is different. Again, it's a rare play. It doesn't happen much, but it has come up. And you'd be surprised how often you do look at different cards on, especially it's mostly for turnovers, fumbles, and interceptions. But it's never like you will never use them. There's always a chance you will. And there's something about having those cards. Because before I played it, I was like, "Man, just give me a defensive sheet, and I don't want to have all those defensive cards."
Right.
There's something though about physically holding those cards in your hand and sorting out who do you want to play. And this is the real great thing about the APPA football game is when you lay the cards out on the table, you decide who plays that game. Okay, it's not like, hey, check the running back or this is your running back. You're not locked into anybody. So if they're doing as played, they don't have every single guy, but they have most of them. Enough to get close to an as played. I mean, maybe you got a lineman somewhere that you might have to sub in for. But so you can either look at your team and take the best guys and lay out a team on the table, or you can put in the guys that you want. But they're all individual cards here, so you never. Yeah, and I'm not trying to dump on any of the team sheet games because I play them and still enjoy them very well. But you control who's in that game when you put that card on the table. And if you take the card and put it in the envelope and put it off to the side, that guy's not in the game. So I like to go see who played in the game, find out, okay, wow, this guy didn't play. What happened? Was he hurt? Was Fran Tarkenton hurt? Was Burt Jones hurt? Why didn't he play? Why didn't he start? And you control who's in that game. And I really like that. That's one thing I really enjoy about APPA football is having the individual cards so you control who's in the game. Just me. That's my thing. It would be cheaper if they didn't have everybody carded in the whole bit. But having played it and having those cards in my hand and putting them on the table, even the linemen, I love looking at my 5 linemen and sticking them behind the quarterback, and that's my front line. I like that. And just when someone falls on the ball, it's fun to pull out that card and say, this guy just covered up the fumble or whatever. And if you want to get a sack, you pull out the linebackers and say, oh, okay, this guy got the sack. I enjoy it. I just do. I enjoy it. Arnold Hunter comes by.
How you doing? Happy New Year.
Thanks for coming by. We do have someone in the queue. Who? Oh, let's test him out here. Let's see if he's better. Coming from the Mars rover, it's Michael.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, now you're much better. There you go.
Hey.
Would you run down to Radio Shack and get that headset?
No, actually, what happened? Yeah.
We got you.
No, actually, I had it. It's just, I don't know, just craziness, and then had some unexpected people at the front door.
Like Jehovah's Witnesses or something?
No, actually, it was my 2 grandsons and their father.
Oh. Oh, you said unexpected people at the door. So when it's unexpected people, it's like, were they asking for the car warranty or something like that? Or so anyway. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Cutter Historical, when he comes into the chat room, extra points are never made. So he's always blocking my extra points. Jehovah's Witnesses. Last time a Jehovah's Witness came to the house, they asked me to be a Jehovah's Witness. I says, I didn't even see the accident. Boom. Sorry, that's an old joke from the 80s. It really is. So, Michael, what have you been playing? You've been doing your History Maker Baseball, right?
That's correct. Let's see. That's correct, yes. Still
Are you watching on YouTube or on the screen? Because you shouldn't have any lag at all.
Yeah, I'm having a lot of lag here.
Just don't watch on YouTube. You want to watch in the studio.
Close your YouTube. You just want to be on us.
Okay.
Yeah, now you should be just watching us live.
And
all I see is my ugly face, but
that's fine. But there's going to be a lag on YouTube that there isn't in the other one.
Okay. Yeah, I'm finishing up the 73 versus 98 History Maker Baseball tournament. It's taken a year to get that to this point. It's the 98 Phillies against the 98 Yankees, and the Yankees are up, I believe now 3-1.
Well, they're considered one of the greatest teams of all time, the 98 Yankees.
Yeah, and it's funny because the Phillies were 75 and 87, and they got through each round, and then they knocked off the Atlanta Braves and the Astros.
Oh, wow.
They were down to the Astros 2-0 in the best of 5 and came back and won the next 3. And other than the first game with the Yankees, in which the Yankees won 19-2, one of my highest scoring games ever in History Maker Baseball, the Phillies have played the Yankees really, really tough. So quite a surprise to see that team in the finals. Kind of figured the Yankees were going to win it all, and unfortunately, being a Red Sox fan,
we're used to it.
we're used to it, right?
We're
Yeah.
used to it.
I did the other day play for the very first time APPA Basic Baseball,
Oh, nice.
and I played I believe it was the 95 Red Sox against the 95 Braves, Maddox against Roger Clemens. Clemens had 11 strikeouts and lost 3-0 to Maddox. It was interesting. My first time playing. The only thing that stood out for me in that game is I had a lot of, and maybe I was reading the charts wrong, but I had a lot of foul pop-ups to the catcher. Now I don't know if that's.
Oh, you rolled 65s.
Yeah, well, is that what it was?
Yeah,
That's what it is, and they've redone that in the new book to make that to foul out the first. But yep, if you have an older book, any 65 is a foul out to the catcher.
Okay, interesting. So yeah, I probably had, I want to say I had 6 or 7, and I was like,
Yeah.
wow, this is crazy. But the dice were doing what they were doing, and I know it's a small sample, it's just the one game.
No, but that's what it is.
Okay.
That's what it. So the
Okay.
change.
I think what I do now is if I roll that 65 and that turns into a 35, I think I'll alternate between catcher and first base, so I don't get all catcher. But it's a pop up of some kind, is what I
Right.
do.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. I'd probably change it up again and make it to a first baseman or a third baseman.
Yeah, I've been getting back into the APPA. I played the payoff pitch last night and fought that game again. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it was late and I was tired and I just had a prime rib.
Oh, there you go.
And maybe it was just that because I go back and forth the payoff pitch where I love it and I hate it, love it, I hate it. But the APPA baseball never lets me down. It's a nice, fun, easy game. I can pick it up after not playing for 6 months and I could just have no problems with it. Sportsman Z, you ever play any APPA games?
I have not. It's kind of expensive, and if you listen to Kirk Berglund, he's not a big fan of APPA baseball, so I have never done it.
The thing with APPA baseball is if you want to do a big project, as in a full league or the single team for that, it plays so fast, and it may not look like when you start it's going to be all that quote unquote accurate, but at the end of the day, the numbers are going to come out pretty well. Yeah. And again, you can play a game of basic in about 20 minutes.
Yeah. You look at it and you're like, oh, this will never work. And how is this going to get? And then you get done the game. It's like, wow, this falls right in line with any other baseball game I played. And I don't feel like this is out of whack, which is kind of what I enjoy about that. But I
got to say, one of the first games of Strata I watched, this was 1,000 years ago, bases loaded and somebody, or first and second or whatever, and someone hit into a line out max. And like the first or second game that someone had ever played, they'd hit into a triple play because there was nobody out. Because the line out max is as many outs as you need. Yep. And so it's always, and I don't think in all the years I've done that, I've ever hit into a triple play. But someone had it in their first or second game they ever played. You just never know what's going to happen.
I got my only no-hitter right there.
I've never had a card dice no-hitter.
Card dice no-hitter, and I was live too. I wasn't even playing the game. Wasn't even paying attention to the game, and I got it. And someone went back and watched the whole thing and said, "Yep, you got it right."
I've had a no-hitter in Strat-o-matic, and it was I put it on the channel. I happened to have had it on the channel, and the no-hitter was by Steve Stone.
Oh, wow.
The Orioles. Yeah.
Oh, the Orioles.
Yeah, the Orioles, Steve Stone. Yeah.
So 80?
Something 80-something. I don't remember exactly what year, but yeah.
Well, the only appropriate response to that would be, holy cow.
Now, Sportsman Z, you got was it last year that 76 was released by Strat? Did you get that? I saw.
I think I do have it. Yeah,
I got it as well. And
the 70s the season they're releasing this year.
Yeah, 1970 is
1970.
70. Yeah,
70 and 24, and along with some of the All-Star set. There's 3 Negro League seasons and some of the updates of their Caribbean and Latino sets. But 70, and I think that's what I'm not sure if that is what their data told them or what the mammoth amount of chatter on the message board said. We want 1970, because to me that's, I guess it needs to be done, but That's not. I'm surprised. I'm surprised it was 70.
Yeah, I have a lot of the older original sets, so I have 1970s original set. And, as a general rule, I don't buy the reissued ones, although I understand that there are some changes. There would be some changes, like some guys can be rated a 5, in the reissued set, whereas if you've got like an older 1970 or 60 something set, you're not going to see
only
any
be a
5.
4, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I might get 70. I don't have it in Strat, so I do have 73 in Strat. And maybe I did get a. I got 71. Didn't I get 71
and 84, right? And the last of their card sales.
Yeah, so I need to add that to my list here. 71 and 84. Yeah, exactly right about that. Now, 76. I decided to pull that out, and I did my tournament. A best of 3, everybody in the playoffs. So it's 1 versus 24, 2 versus 23, best of 3, Strat Basic. And wouldn't you know it, I've only played 4 series. 3 out of the top 4 teams are gone. Yeah. And I kind of stopped there. So the Reds lost to the Expos. The Phillies lost to the Whites. Phillies beat the White Sox. Yankees lost to the Brewers. And the Pirates lost to the Braves. So the Phillies, out of the Reds, Phillies, Yankees, and Pirates, which are the top 4 teams in 76, only one has moved on to the second round.
Yeah, well, I mean that's kind of a small sample too. If you're
it is, it's a 3-game set, but at the same time, to have 3 out of 4 get wiped out in the first round, I thought that was a little heavy.
But I would. It's too small of a sample size. Again, if you played a full season, those cards are made to go 162 games.
Right.
Any game. If you do that in APPA, I bet you'd have the same results.
I should try that. I don't have 76, but I might try that same kind of thing.
I mean, it's anything can happen. And the shorter the series, the more odd things can happen. Even if you went back and did a 5-game or did all 3 games where the higher seed is home, I think you'd find it different. It's just so small of a sample.
Yeah.
And again, every team in that era had a good pitcher.
Yeah.
I thought it was weird that 3 out of 4 of the top teams were eliminated immediately by the bottom of the league. I thought
there weren't any great teams except for the Reds.
Yeah.
The Yankees weren't great.
They were fun games. Don't get me wrong. I had some fun with them, and it was fun getting them on the table. So
I mean, Al's been doing the same tournament. I think he's doing it in the same league as opposed
76.
to
I don't know what he's doing for a tournament, but he's doing something.
So the same thing, best of 3.
Yeah.
And he's had the same kind of results. Baseball teams aren't that far apart. From a hockey world where 2 goals is a lot and good teams separate themselves out from the bad teams. That's not how baseball works. Nothing that you've done in that, to be honest, has been a surprise.
Yeah, after having my 1980 Red Sox finish 22 games out of first place in my Strat PC replay.
You mean 86?
86, yeah. 80, let's say the Clemens. I played the Clemens games, simulated the rest, and the Red Sox were 22 games out of first place or 20 games out of, and I was like, it just kind of soured me. It did. And then when I started playing this tournament with Strat in 76, and I'm seeing all the upsets, the first one was fun. The second one, and now the third upset, it just kind of
Clemens didn't pitch that well, did he? As I remember, Clemens didn't pitch nearly as well as he did.
I don't think when they redid 86, Clemens got as good of a card as he did the first time.
Yeah, you've said that.
Yeah, I just was not impressed with that Clemens card. And the Red Sox overall were so lucky that year. They'd win on wild pitches and pass balls, and they should be 22 games out of 500 or out of first place. But you can make a case for Toronto or the Yankees winning that division. But the Red Sox should have been right there.
I get it. I get it can happen. It just seems like when I play Strat, it just happens too much, and Jeff said that's the beauty of baseball. The best team doesn't always win a short series. I kind of get that.
Do it with hockey and see what you think. You don't have to do it with Strat, but I think that's where it's kind of rubbing you the wrong way, is that there's a big difference between a good Bruins team and a bad Seattle Kraken team. Okay, Seattle is not going to beat the Bruins in a best-of-3 series just because they might steal one, but they're not going to steal two. As opposed to baseball, where over the course of 162, you're going to get it right. I did on Action PC the 62 Mets and the 75 Reds. And you know what? The Mets beat the Reds about 40 times. Yeah.
Especially a bad baseball team could have two good pitchers, and if you do a 3-game series and those two pitchers pitch, it's possible they could.
Yeah,
win.
I mean, it's in short series, it all comes down to pitching.
Yeah. Michael, we got any updates on the Digital to Dice Con down there in Connecticut?
No, the hotel is still there. They're waiting for us, and in a short for 5 months or so, we'll be there.
Yeah, I got my running list here that I keep going here, and we now have 25 tickets purchased,
and that doesn't include game designers.
Just one or two, I think.
Okay.
I think there's still some that have not yet, but I'm expecting them to show up anyway. So,
right.
But yes,
we needed 30, I think.
30 would cover the room, or
Cover
35
the room.
would cover the room, and some of the food or drinks we're going to get or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think we're close enough now that
it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen. So I just didn't want to get to a point where we were $1,000 short, and it's like, yeah, man, that's a little
Right.
too much to cover here. I don't have that, but if we could just get if we're within a couple $100 or so, I definitely want to make this thing happen. So
Absolutely. Again, we weren't looking to make a profit on this. It was really just to get something established in the Northeast, and
Yeah.
I'm extremely happy with those numbers. I think I think I mentioned 40 to 50 when it's all said and done. So we'll see what happens.
I'm pleasantly surprised to see 25 plus the 7 or 8 others on the guest list. I don't even know how many's on the guest list now. There's a lot on the guest list. So
I think that was the biggest thing, is how many guests want to come to this. So I was hoping for 3, and I think we're well above that. So
we got 9 guests. So there's still 7 or so that have not are not on my list right now.
Okay.
So we're still hoping to get some more of them to show
Good,
up.
good.
But yeah, so I'm kind of I think it's going to be a good time. I just can't wait to see everybody.
Yeah.
And play some games. I had so much fun in Ohio. That was such a good time. And just see, the thing is, you see people in the chat and you see them on email or whatever it is, or Facebook, or sometimes they'll come on here on the show. But when you walk in the door and see them face to face, there's nothing like that, and the thing is, you're all there for the same reason. You're there to game. You're there to talk sports. You're there all for the same reason. It's not like you're at a funeral or, a wedding, and it's like you're at something, you're at a hobby that's a lot of us, and I don't know about you guys, but a lot of us can't share with anybody within arm's reach. There's nobody here that I can go and talk about my game, or, hey, want to play my new season with me? It's just me. So when you can sit down with somebody, like when I saw Bob pulled out the hockey bones at the Football Hall of Fame, I thought that was great. But he pulled out hockey bones. He was showing Tebow how to play it, and I sat there. Well, it was just like that was awesome.
Yeah,
the fact that we could play a game together and talk about it, and how do you play this, and how would you handle that? And that's how you learn. When St. Patrick showed me his matchup game, matchup football game, I was like, oh man, this is fun. And he showed me how to play it. When I sat down with Keith and we went through
the hell
Football Fury, that was a fun time too, getting to play with the game developer. That was a good time. So
okay, I'll lay down. What?
They probably heard my dog bark.
Yeah.
My dogs are quiet all the time. Today they're going to decide to bark.
Well,
Yeah.
guys, I gotta run.
All right.
Yeah, we're going out. My wife and I are going out to lunch. So
See you
Nice.
soon.
happy
Yeah,
New Year.
Happy New Year. Glad you're feeling
Good to
better.
see you. Please stay in
Yes.
touch, okay?
Yeah, I will. I will.
All right. Thank you so much. Sportsman Z coming by and saying some hi here, and check out his channel. Doing some really fun strat football stuff over there. Been enjoying that quite a bit. So, but yes, I think I'm just kind of gravitating back towards the Strat Basic and the APPA Basic. I don't know why. I just really
They
enjoy
work.
that. They
I mean,
work. Yeah.
It's one, it's kind of one thing. Everyone has a shiny new project or product, and their products do a good job with that, no matter what it is. But really, when you go to the store to buy a soda, are you going for the new shiny cola product? Or are you going for what you've been doing since you were 13, 14 years old? You're reaching for the Diet Coke or the Pepsi, whatever it is, because you know what you're getting. And in the case of Strat and APPA, they both work. Are they perfect? No. No one's saying that, that there's no such thing as a perfect game, but they do what they're supposed to do. And there's a comfort kind of level with that. I've been playing a bunch of Strat hockey. And again, it's different strokes for different folks. It is a game that involves you more than any other hockey game, I think. And so that can get old real fast. I can understand why people don't necessarily like to play that. There's been some miscards over the years. But on the other hand, for me, it scratches that itch where other things do that. I mean, no one should be ashamed to be playing something that they find that they really just enjoy and have a comfort level with. I mean, whether that's a new game or an old game, or
I wonder if it's
game
a situation where, not to pay off pitch is a new game for me. I played it before, but when I play a game and I run into problems, it's frustrating. And then I immediately run back to a game I'm familiar with. Almost like running back to an old girlfriend, in the middle of the night, because you're just comfortable with that person, so to speak.
Well, I think we all only have a limited amount of time to play whatever it is that you want to play. And you want that time to be progressing through something as opposed to learn. I mean, we all want to play new games and learn how to play them or whatever. And some newer games or new to you games or new to me games get, into that rotation. But on the other hand, look, you got an hour, you got 2 hours, you're tired, you want to play this, you're looking at something. I want something that's going to flow well in my head.
Yeah.
As opposed to that. And again, it doesn't mean that these games that are newer per se can't break into that. But again, if you're looking in the kitchen for the snack, do you want to make the nachos, or you just want to pull out the Ben and Jerry's? Again,
that's a food reference, PJ. That's a food reference, PJ.
So you're just going to pull out what's comfortable for you to do, because whatever it is, the enjoyable experience.
Yeah. And I think we go through situations like I'll pull out APPA baseball and I'll play that, and then I'll find something about that frustrates me. It's like, oh man, this one thing really bugs me. And then you go off and you play a different game, and then you play that game, then something bugs you with that game. Then you go, and I just find that's what I do. I kind of do this big circle of games where I play this game, I love it, love it, love it. Then one thing trips you up, and you're like, oh man, that's why I played this game. So then you go back to this game and you play this game, and then you're like, you run into that thing that trips you. Oh man, that's why I play this game.
Right.
And that's kind of how I do it. I bounce around and I go from game to game, and I don't hate any game, but at some point, this game works for me now. There was a time that I didn't play a lot of APPA. I walked away from APPA. I actually traded one of my baseball seasons away because I was like, I'm not going to play that anymore. And then I go back to APPA, and I absolutely love it.
Some games just fit your eye better than others. And embrace it. But it's not a marriage. I think that 10, 15 years ago, there was a Strat community and an APPA community and other games community. And now everyone we've had Dave Cook, we've had Keith Avalone, and everyone understands that you're going to be making the rounds with what games you play. And there doesn't seem to be any animosity for, if we had on, Keith, and, he doesn't seem to be upset that people play other football games besides second season. He's the one that played APPA to death football, and I mean, he's probably one of the biggest APPA football experts
Yeah.
out there. And so I think it's a case of, I know that when we've had Cook on and when I've seen Dave Cook do other presentations, it's not that, they'd rather that you play their game.
Yeah.
But they just want you to be playing any game as opposed to do that, just the one game. I mean, we eat, to go back to the food thing. Yeah, we order McDonald's, but we order other things too. That doesn't mean that we don't, just because I might play something else, doesn't mean I don't like playing game A. It's for a different thing, whatever reason.
I had a wicked hankering for a Big Mac yesterday. I did. I didn't get it. I don't know if it'll run out today. Maybe I'll surprise the wife with McDonald's later on. I don't know.
Hey, spoil your wife. So my food story for the day, I was meant to tell you this before. So get up at 7:00 this morning and seeing who's delivering food, because it's New Year's and we'll see who's open. And so Duncan was delivering this morning, and I'm still working on my coffee. So the top 3 choices for me were Dunk's, McDonald's, and a local pizza place. I'm looking at the clock. It's 5 after 7 in the morning on New Year's morning. Okay. So who's delivering? Seriously, someone is delivering pizza at 5 after 7. I think they realized their mistake. I think it was a mistake, but it is New Year's and people are, maybe just feeling a bit peckish after a night of imbibing, and maybe they wanted to, but yeah, sure enough, it said open at 7 a.m. for pizza.
Well, some people like pineapple in the morning, so
a little breakfast pizza. But yeah, I couldn't believe it. You could, 7 a.m.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this question here. We all of us know or have talked to game developers in the hobby. And some of us are quite friendly with some of the game developers. Do you ever feel guilty playing a game but you're not playing another game?
No.
See, I do, because it's like, we got people that listen to the podcast, that watch the show. I'm friends with them on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
I email all the time, and they're all game, not all, but they develop games. So I talk to quite a bit of people who have games for sale or for free that you can play. And I do, when I pull out a game, like I pull out a game of APPA baseball, I feel like someone is going to get mad at me for not playing their baseball game. And when I pull out a hockey game, it's like, if I don't play shootout, is John going to get mad that I'm not playing shootout, or I'm not showing shootout on my channel? I just have this extreme guilt, but I guess it's the old internet thing. Like, I like oranges. Oh, you don't like apples? I think it's that mentality there where, as I got games I enjoy playing, I enjoy streaming, they work for me, whatever it is. But it's like, man, is this person going to be mad that I'm not playing their game right now? I do. I have that extreme guilt because I know so many people in the industry, and if I'm not showing a game, does that mean I don't like it, or I'm not playing it anymore, or you know what I mean?
Even if I'm not playing a game that we've been either demoed or did something with, you could still find good things to say about it that are legitimate, not just, Timmy did a good job with this because for whatever reason. You played the game, you liked the game, you like another version of the game, another version of that sport better, and that's what you gravitate to. But it doesn't mean that you had a bad experience with game A. It just means that you like game B better. But as long as you're not bad-mouthing game A or whatever it is, you can be supportive of a game even if you aren't necessarily playing it an awful lot, if that makes sense. I mean, there are games that I don't like. Well, just not going to say which of those are, but you'll never hear me badmouth it. It doesn't do any good to badmouth what you don't like. However, we've never interviewed that particular developer. And so, but yeah, so there's developers and content creators of games that I don't play all that often. I don't feel guilty about it. We've had them on the show. They produce a good product, but again, you're playing to entertain yourself. First and foremost, you've got to entertain yourself. If you're not entertained yourself, it doesn't matter. then you get frustrated, and it goes in the back of the pile, and you might miss something that's there. They understand what you do, and if you gave the game a try, I think all anyone wants to do is get my game out there. It doesn't mean you need to do exclusive projects with it, but just putting it out there. So no.
Do you ever get that, Michael? Do you ever feel guilty?
I do. Obviously, my go-to baseball game is the History Maker Baseball. So the other day when I did play APPA, it was kind of a weird feeling. But, and in fact, today, later on, I think I'm going to try my first Strat baseball game. I've got all these baseball games, and I just haven't opened them up. I've got Payoff Pitch, which I haven't played. I've watched plenty of videos. So, yeah, I guess it's you sort of kind of feel guilty, but I think when I look at it, I know most of my projects going forward will probably involve the History Maker Baseball. I may do a small project on Strat or APPA once I get a little bit more of the hang of the game. But yeah, I guess what I am is I'm a seller's best scenario, because I buy a lot of games, and I've got a lot of games, and I've got that pile of shame that I haven't touched yet in the last year that I've bought games. I've picked up a couple of games on eBay, older games that Baseball League Manager that I just started looking at yesterday, and I got I think the 1983 set with that, and a 1970 set. That's a very old game. I think it goes back to the 60s or 70s. And looking at my pile here, let's see. The other game I have is Clubhouse Baseball, which I started looking at. Again, another game from the 70s. So yeah, it's for me. It'll always be. I think History Maker Baseball will be my go-to game, and there'll be some guiltiness playing other games, but the good thing is I'll always go back for my main projects and use that as my go-to game.
I got about 15 minutes.
Yeah, we'll wrap this up soon. Figured we'd do about an hour and 45 to us. Marco says he can't jump on. He doesn't want to talk to Ron right now. So.
That's not what that says. It
says, did I read that wrong?
You always read that wrong.
So before we go, I do want to say that last night I tried sarsaparilla.
Oh, it's been years since I've had that.
My uncle, who just retired, he's been driving around the United States, and he gave us all a bottle of sarsaparilla for Christmas, and I still have mine in the fridge. So my brother had his at his house last night. We went over, and he brought it out, and so we all tried sarsaparilla. I can't even describe to tell you what it tastes like.
Yeah, because you're a root beer guy too, like me, and it
was not root beer. It was not Moxie. It was not ginger ale. Someone said it was almost like a medicine, and I imagine JT Hetrick here could talk a little bit about sarsaparilla and baseball. Again, I've never had it, and I wouldn't even begin to describe what it tastes like.
Ever done birch beer?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
It's a soda. It's not an alcoholic beverage.
It's like a black licorice soda. It's amazing.
So that would put it in the Moxie category. It's been years since I've had sarsaparilla.
Yeah, it's not a thick drink though. It looks like a whiskey. It's the color of whiskey, and it's not like wicked sweet. It's not wicked tart. It's not wicked heavy. It's got its own thing. It's really kind of weird. Bernie likes the Strat left-right splits. Again, when I play Strat, I like to go basic. I'm a basic type of guy. And Jeff's going out to a family barbecue. I know.
A barbecue? What part of the country are you in?
Maybe they have sarsaparilla. Yeah, Jamie says it's no moxie.
Oh,
Growing up in the 70s, I remember my stepfather having moxie and buying it once in a while. I can still remember the picture of the guy there on the label, in the glass bottle back in
yeah,
the
from
day.
1922. When we did that sample last year of Moxie on the channel, it'd been 40 years since I'd done it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And I finished my game, and we both just thought it was a licorice. It wasn't as bad as it was when I tried it back in '83. So we did it in 2024 or 2023 or whatever it was. And so I'm talking to you about a half hour later, and I can still taste it in the back of my mouth.
Really?
That's how heavy of a drink Moxie is. That, I'm finishing up my coffee from this morning, and as soon as she gives me my water, the coffee will be out of my mouth. But yeah, that was the thing with Moxie was it just kind of hangs in there like a fog.
Grabs on you, yeah. And Moxie's definitely like a black liquid.
Yeah.
It is. Sassafras tea is interesting too. Boy, if that doesn't sound like a minor league baseball
I
sponsor.
was about to say Foghorn Leghorn and Yosemite Sam are fighting over some sassafras tea. Son, I say, son, you want some sassafras tea?
I said, boy, come back here. What was the Henrietta? Was that the
yes Miss Prissy? Yes.
Oh, was it Miss Prissy or Henrietta?
Both, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He had all these women
with the rolling
women
pin
chicks
to trap him. Yes.
Oh yeah. That was right too. That was a fun time. Waiting on one more guest here. He's going to show up. He's going to come in here at the last minute and say hi.
Okay.
And then we'll wrap up our New Year's Day show, and everybody can go on their way. All right.
Chocolate soda. Not a Yoo-hoo, but an actual chocolate soda.
I don't think so.
White Rock used to make a chocolate soda, and you get excited about, a fudge soda, because who doesn't love chocolate and who doesn't love soda? Apparently the people who made that, because that stuff was nasty.
Really?
Just too sweet, even for me at 11 years old.
All right, we got a vent here. All right.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, we got Triple G. I just spent 90 minutes recording a play red, white, and blue racing replay from 92, and my fat fingers.
Oh,
my
no.
iPhone. 90 minutes down the drain.
Ouch.
Yeah, I think we've all hit the delete button.
We've all done that. There was a time in the early 80s where the soap operas had all gone to tape. And so there was an episode of Search for Tomorrow where someone spilt some solvent on the tape. And so it ate it. And so they had to do the episode live. A half hour of, you couldn't do any, because the solvent ate the tape. And network television, the show had to go on. Michael, is your dog vacuuming or something like that?
No, that was
that wasn't me.
That was JT. Yeah, he's got something going on his screen here. Hopefully it's better. Cleveland baseball fan says, see if you can't recover from the trash folder. Yeah, it might be in the trash.
Yeah, you never know. Hopefully it will still be there.
Randy says he had the Green River, which is similar to Mountain Dew.
Okay.
I was a Mountain Dew kid, big time as a kid.
Cheer one, I'd love to try. They tell me it tastes like Mountain Dew, Dr. Pepper, but they don't sell it here in New England.
Really?
Yeah.
Still got a bunch of noise coming in.
Sounds like someone's running a tub.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is.
Is this the OnlyFans part of the?
Yeah, we're gonna give this guy. We're almost done here.
Yeah.
I don't want to rush this last guy here, but
I do kind of have to go to a few. So
yeah. So if not, we'll catch him next year.
Yeah, we'll do this again next January.
Yeah.
For the 2026 open house.
I know, right? 2026.
I mean, it's 2025. We've now lived through a quarter of the 21st century.
Yeah.
What did they say? They said George Jetson is now 2 years old.
Yes, I saw that this morning.
Is that nuts? I mean, just that is nuts. To to say that that was George Judson. I used to listen to a lot of old time radio on satellite radio, and I haven't listened in a while, but I used to enjoy that. That was very calming and relaxing. And I remember, these shows that were put out in the 40s and the 50s, and the space shows. It was, and they're like, the year 1980. We've conquered the moon, and we have settlements on Mars, and this is one of their stories, and it's just hilarious.
Speaking of which, starting today, this first day of 2025, 1980 and 2070 are equal. It's been 45 years since 1980, and 2070s and 45 years. That just absolutely blows my mind. So hell, we have one more here. We're gonna sneak in this guy here. Hey,
hello guys.
How are you?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I wasn't sure about my mic here. I know I'm late to the party. Sorry about that. But Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Miss you in my streams.
I know I haven't been able to get in the flow of it with your switch from Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
And but I catch what I can after the fact. And so,
I know that you're busy, so
that too. That too. I wanted to share one thing real quick. I guess my big project for 2024 was a replay of the 92-93 Pittsburgh Penguins season. Something I had always wanted to do because that's the only year the Penguins won the President's Trophy, but they didn't win the Cup, of course. That year. So I always felt like I would be playing with a loaded deck by having such a great team. And so anyway, I wanted to show you guys this. This is a bit of a compendium I've put together.
Nice.
Of all of the score sheets and little articles that I wrote up that I put on Digital to Dice. So it's all here, 104 games. It took to get all the way through to the playoffs. I'm happy to report that they did beat Detroit in 7 games for the Stanley Cup. So there was a bit of redemption for them in that. It was great to see all of those great players, Yager, Tocchet, Lemieux. Francis, Kevin Stevens, back on the ice together. So that was a lot of fun. Had a lot of fun replaying it and reporting it on Digital to Dice and interacting with people about it on there. I want to give a special thank you for that to Midlife Crisis 13, who in one of Ron's chats one day offered me that season, which I
remember
have.
that. Yeah.
And literally the day before, I had been telling a friend, because I had been replaying the Penguins Cup runs on Strat for the 4 of their Cup teams that I have. And I had been telling a friend literally the day before, I wish I had 92-93.
I remember that.
Midlife Crisis pops in and offers it to me. And so I want
John's a great guy.
Thanks to him. Yeah. So just wanted to share that. I knew I was hopping on late. I've got to go to work pretty soon, but just for a few hours, so not so bad. But other than that, just Happy New Year to everybody.
Well, Happy New Year.
Thanks for stopping by. And
I do actually. I have a question for the panel here, but also maybe for the chat. So I'm starting in the early process of planning my next big project for 2025, which is likely going to be another hockey project with Strat-o-matic. Is there anything out there? And I know, Dave, you at one time showed a little video about on Strat-o-matic PC on being able to manually input your stats, but it was super clunky.
No, it was with the
it's a helper, isn't it?
The helper, yeah. It's the Strat utility, it's called. So if you bought the Strat PC game, it comes with a Strat PC utility, which allows you to play the game right in the utility. and you can put in the stats. It's clunky, and I've done it, but it does work, and I did do a video on that.
What I'm hoping to find, and I don't know that anything like this exists, is essentially something that obviously not as polished, but would be like what I think Digital Diamond is for baseball, but find that for hockey, where
We're
I can
all looking for that.
Yeah, where I can simulate all of the other games.
Yeah, it doesn't
And
exist.
get full stats, and then enter my game results to get league leaders and everything like that. But there's not anything like that.
I've been putting out the word to any of my friends out there. Do any of you guys know how to do computer programming so they could set something up like that? And there's a couple things out there I was looking to try, but oh man, it was it just doesn't really work.
Yeah.
So
okay. Well, what I did
find something, let me know, because I want to. I want to.
Oh, I will. And what I did with this season is I used Ultra Quick Hockey to just simulate the out of town scores, and even through the playoffs and everything, the games that didn't involve the Penguins, and that worked out fine. But I was hoping to get something, and Ultra Quick, you could get the goals and the assists, but I was hoping to get something that had a bit more like penalty minutes and such, so that I could have a true
shootout hockey might get that for you. It's still going to take you 20 minutes or so, but shootout hockey would help.
I got you. Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for coming by here.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
I'm sure we'll be talking to you over Discord or wherever we are. So, but thanks for coming by. We do have one more guest here. I don't know if the connection's going to work. He's on AOL dial-up.
Oh, goody.
Yeah. He's been trying to connect for a half hour now, but we're going to put him on the show, and it might be really bad, but this is what happens. When you try logging in from Pittsburgh.
Oh God.
This is what you get. So are you on your flip phone? You're on your flip phone?
No, I used all my 3,000 minutes. Yeah. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
We can hear you. Yep. Good having you on. And we have one more. We have one more sandbagger coming in.
Lag here.
Let's see if we can put on ST Patrick.
Hey, ST.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Absolutely. I look forward to it.
It's going to be a good year.
Wow, that's an all-star cast I see right there.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, this should be a fun year. There's a lot of things I'm going to be doing this year on the road. I'm scheduled to travel 3 times.
Maybe
first
4?
one being, I think actually D2D-Con is the first one, right? That's May.
Mm-hmm.
And then June, I got to start doing that. I got to book my hotel and my flight now. I was going to wait till the first of the year to get all the holiday stuff out of the way, but I'm going to book the flight to Colorado. And then I'm pretty sure if things go well, Michael and I are hoping to get back to the Football Hall of Fame if that all pans out. So there's three trips going on with me right now. So I'm kind of hoping that all works out,
ST is in competition to be the Bears' next head coach, right?
Yeah, what's up with that?
I think I would at least know how to run the clock.
And a happy Thanksgiving to you too.
Yeah, and Dave, I know I feel like when I made my schedule, for this year, I feel like I'm out of town almost every month, but I'm excited about it. It's going to be a great year. We have IndyCon here in Auburn, Indiana in April. I'm going to the APPA tournaments in Jackson in March, and I'm going to the APPA tournament in Chicagoland and Toledo, but I'll also be at Canton. I'll be in Colorado, and I will, of course, be in Connecticut in May as well. So, and it's not really sports related, but because Gen Con is in Indianapolis, I'm just going to run down there for the weekend as well in July and just see what that's about this year, because I've never gone to it before. But honestly, I really heard that they have a lot of used games on sale, and a lot of them are sports. So
Oh,
I'm
cool.
gonna go hit the store probably more than anything. And so, but it's gonna be a wonderful year for everyone. And I really, for everyone out there who are gonna be at these, come up, say hi, sit down, and my gosh, let's play some games.
Awesome.
It's Canton was so great last year, and Colorado is incredible. What I like to do most is I like to learn new games.
Yeah.
And so it's a chance to sit down with either the person who created the game, which is fantastic because you can ask anything you want, or an expert in the game, and you can basically do the same exact thing with the expert. And it's just, man, it's a wonderful experience. So if anyone out there can go to these, you really should.
And that's what your article, I don't know if you call it a monologue or whatever it is. You have an initial article in your magazine and those, I love reading those. And this was on, doing it now. Do it now, as Arnold says. Kilby, I'm here. Do it now.
Do it now.
And so, yeah, so you talk about that. And it's like, buy those seasons,
Yes.
go to the cons. Don't wait. Do it now. Go to the cons, play with your buds, meet your friends. Don't wait another year or 2 years. Buy that season.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you can, that type of thing.
Just in the relatively short life of the magazine, we've seen multiple companies shut down with no plans to pass it on, to release a how-to guide so you can make your own teams, make your own seasons, or just throw everything out there that's already made. And I understand that. Every game company and game owner has the right to do what they want with their own product. But if you're sitting back there and going, man, I really want to get these seasons, but I'll just wait till the next Black Friday to do it, you run the risk of not just that, but retirements and potentially game companies that could be up for sale, or sports game companies that might no longer be sports game companies. And now is the time to also go to these and to meet people and have fun and just bask in this wonderful hobby for a day or two, because it is, man, it's amazing to go to these.
I have to go.
Okay.
Oh, it's amazing.
So
it's amazing.
Happy New Year, everybody.
All right, Ron, take care. We're going to be wrapping up shortly anyway, but thanks for coming on, Ron.
Yep.
Happy New Year, Ron.
Happy New Year.
But going to these things and hanging out with people. I had so much fun in Ohio. It's like, why did I wait? Why did I wait to do this? It was just such a good time. It really was. So
yeah, I met ST 2 years ago, my first PlayCon,
Colorado,
and it's been 2 years, and a real good friend in the industry, and
now we're friends.
Now we're friends, and looking for, he was able to get me to knock something off my bucket list in Canton. I had never been to a Waffle House, and that was one of those things on the bucket list. I've been.
We
to
are
a
going
Waffle
back
House.
to the Waffle House.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, and by the way, there is a Waffle House about 2 miles away from our hotel in Colorado as well.
Oh, there we go.
I did not know that.
So we are hitting the Waffle House.
I usually make sure to hit In-N-Out Burger when I'm out in Colorado.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah, no, the Waffle House was a good time.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. That was fun just seeing everybody. Tebow gave me the tour of the Pro Football Hall of Fame gift shop.
Yeah.
That was kind of fun, him doing that. So it was just a fun time seeing everybody. It's like, I need to do more of that, not less of that. I want to do more of that. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So
we had a great dinner that night too in Canton. Tebow and a bunch of the other guys.
When at the Hall of Fame there, when we went to that little restaurant there, that was we had a lot of laughs at that. That was one of my favorite parts of that was that dinner with Bob and Eric and Matt. And those guys there. So that was a fun time. So we're hoping to replicate that, this year, whether it's Colorado or Ohio or Connecticut, wherever you go. Those are the three I'm going to go to. I'm pretty sure. I was going to try to go to the APPA baseball thing at the Hall of Fame in New York. But I think that weekend I'm supposed to be in Colorado for the finals for the hockey. So I think I'm going to be away that weekend. I think.
I believe it's the end of March from what I remember. But if Jeff Giordano is out there, he can tell us an exact date. But, I just want to chime in on that and say, if anyone out there sort of has the thought or the nervousness of, I'm going to go to these things and I'm not going to know anyone and I'll just be in a corner alone. I can tell you that is not the case at all, especially in Colorado, where everyone goes out of their way and makes a special effort to bring everyone in and to make them a part of everything. You are going to walk in to the hotel and instantly have a lot of, a lot of pals that you can just sit down with right away and roll some dice and talk about games. And you will not feel like a new person or an outcast. You will not. That doesn't happen in this hobby. Because I think we're all coming from the same place of we play a lot of these games alone and no one who we know even knows of these games or knows what they are. And so when you go to these live, there's an excitement of just being around each other and to be able to use all of the lingo and the names of the games and to just have a common understanding. And that happens the moment you walk in. So you don't have to worry about not feeling like you're a part of the gang because you will, no matter where you go, you'll instantly be a part of everyone. Excuse me, got something in my throat there. But yeah,
I'm just nervous that I'm going to walk in a hotel room. I'm going to be surrounded by chicks. You know what I mean? And I might need an escort to my room and something like that.
Well, that's life as Dave Gardner. I mean, I don't know how else to explain that.
I might have to come in and like put on my phony mustache and glasses and kind of sneak in the back or something.
Or I don't want to tell the whole story, but you and Mike might walk into a hotel and there might be a whole other conference happening. and I don't know anything about that. And I'm going to forever act like I don't know anything about that.
It was funny how there was only one person in our group who was mistaken as to which group they were in with at the hotel. I thought that was funny because I wasn't asked if I was in that other group, but this one guy was. Oh, are you with this group? Oh, no, I'm with
me.
I'm with the football guy. Oh, I wouldn't have had you pegged as a football guy, but
let's just say that the other conference in the hotel in Canton, the signs for the conference had a lot of colors on them.
A lot of colors. Yep, that was a good time. That was a fun time. A lot of laughs at that.
Yes,
a lot of laughs at that.
A lot of laughs.
Yeah, D. Scott Howard says the Digital to Dice groupies. Yes, will be an interesting crowd. Yeah, I wonder what they would look like, a Digital to Dice groupie. I wonder on that. I wonder how that would look. They probably like the ones going to the Gen Con, right? They'll be all dressed up as little Bo Peep and Spider-Man and all that other stuff there.
Yeah.
Not saying it would be a bad thing. Just
the cool thing I heard about Gen Con is not just the used gaming, but apparently they have a schedule there that is 24 hours. So they understand, I think, that a lot of us are late night people, and they actually have games that begin at like 2 a.m. and 4 a.m.
I used to go to PAX, which is a video game expo in Boston, PAX East. It used to be PAX, but now they have PAX East, PAX West, because I think it's Seattle West, Boston East. They had one in Texas, PAX South at one point. But I used to go when I was in the video game business podcast thing, and I used to get the press pass and go to these things. And yeah, you would show up and they'd have the event area open from 9 to 6 or something like that, 9 to 5, 9 to 6. And then, so they'd shut down the main floor, but all the hotels and everywhere around it would be people just playing games all night long, in the lobbies, everywhere you could think of. And they did leave one part of the expo open all night, and it was the computer area and the board game area. The vendors area shut down. Okay. So if you were showing off a game or whatever it was, they shut all that down. But the other part of the exposition center with all the you could sit on a PC, and any game that was on that PC you could play. And then they had a whole other section of just tables where people would just play board games all night. And I'd be looking, and they were, they'd be playing in the floor of the hotel rooms. There's people playing all these games, and some of them were pretty fun to watch people play, and we were playing the Cards Against Humanity is what we played, which is a crazy game as well.
Yeah.
But it wasn't any sports game. But the first PAX that I went to, I actually met Clay Dresslock.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Okay.
He had his mogul games, and he had a football game, a cards and dice football game on the table. And I was there for video games. I'm like, who wants this? And so, but he handed out codes for the mogul games. And I think it was back in like 2014 or something like that. That's how long ago it was, 10 years ago. And so I went home and I downloaded the mogul games, and that's kind of where I started my journey into the sports sim thing. And years later, when we had him on the show, I was like, "You're the mogul guy?" I says, "I ran into you in Connecticut at PAX." He goes, "I was there." He goes, "I vaguely remember you."
Yeah.
So but it was a long time ago. And back then we didn't do videos. We just did audio. So I'd have to go look to see if I had any audio on that there. But I remember walking by the table and they're playing a football game on a table. Like, it's like, give me Call of Duty. Cause that's what I was doing at the time,
No, he's a great guy. Smart guy. I mean, I love what he does. And can I say, and I want to say this because Jay Thomas Hetrick is here as well. I love 80s baseball, man. If you want a quick play game with full stats and one team card, it is yet one more option for our hobby. And
thank you, sir.
It's a wonderful game.
Thank you. Would you like to be my publicist?
I
can't pay anything,
already.
but you're doing a pretty good job right now.
Well, I hope it pays well.
Thank you very much.
So,
no, it's really good. We have a few like that. We have Pocket Pennant Run, we have 80s baseball, and we have, we kind of have inside scoreboard baseball, which you can do full stats in hindsight. But if you're wondering what 80s baseball is, I would compare it most to Pocket Pennant Run, although they're not the same game. But you get the stats in real time. You're actually doing a box score in real time. So it's not a backfill at all. But everyone should really try it out once because it is worth it. It really is.
Please tell 1 million of your best friends. I can retire from being retired.
I have a much smaller fraction than that, but I will spread the word.
So you can find it here at Pocol Press, POCOL Press.
Of course, I forgot the .com.
Pocol Press has 80s baseball, so pocolpress.com. Head over there and you can get the 80s baseball game. That's where you can find it.
We can also play it by the decade now. If you want to play the Decade World Series in the 80s, make up for all of your teams that lost, like the Cardinals and the Brewers and the Twins or whoever lost that year. I think the Dodgers lost one of those too. If you were upset about that, hey, fix it. Play it at home.
I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad about the Cardinals. I mean, that Red Sox Cardinals series, when they ended the game on the interference on third base, I thought that was baloney. And again, I didn't even kind of care because I was just kind of whatever. I wasn't into baseball at all at the time. But I was like, okay, Sox win the World Series. That's kind of neat. I was like, how do you end the game on that? I mean, that's like throwing a flag in the last 30 seconds of the game to give Mahomes the ball back, which never happens. Just saying.
Yeah.
But it was just so weird. It's like the guy was just trying to stand up, and then the other guy runs over him and trips. It's like, no, you ran into him. He didn't. He was, you ran into him. But it is what it is. So I don't feel bad for Cardinals fans. Just don't. But anyway, But I want to thank everybody for coming on today. Here, I'm going to wrap it up because the wife wants to go and get something to eat here on New Year's Day. So I'm getting kind of hungry myself. But everybody in the chat, thank you for coming by. Hopefully this new service worked. I like the StreamYard better, but again, they priced out the average Joe, and I'm the average Joe, so we have to go to this here. But thanks to everybody that came by and jumped in and posted something in the chat. We hope you enjoyed the show. I think the show's going much better since Ron left. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
Yeah, definitely.
I've been getting a lot of comments here on the side. It hasn't been posted. It says, "Wow, the show really has taken off in the last 5 minutes or so."
Oh, God.
I'm just reading the comments. That's all I'm really doing here, you know. Robert, thanks for coming by here. Yes, and we'll be adding. We need to monetize that video. Ron getting attacked by the banner many years ago. That was a good one here. And Retro Sports Network comes by. Hey, thanks for coming by, Retro Sports Network. Good. Happy New Year. Hey, you jumped off, so I mean, you know, it's like the chick that leaves the barroom. All the other chicks are going to talk behind her back. I'm sorry. That's just what we're doing.
And for those of you who I did look up the walking underwear quote. That's one word. You never know.
One word. You
Talking
never
about
know.
baseball in general. Walking andujar, also known as walking underwear, made the famous quote back in the day. You never know. All one word.
Oh, okay, that's it. Oh, I've heard of Joaquin Andujar. I've actually heard of him.
Yeah, walking underwear. That's a better name for him.
I've heard that one. Nice. So anyway,
Sorry, Cardinal fans. Just how I see it.
we're not worried about Cardinal fans. We don't care about Cardinal fans. But anyway, so I want to thank everybody that joined the show, that chatted with us tonight. Looking forward to a fun 2025. So many games to play, so many teams to play, so many things to do, so many places to go this year. Yeah. As we take Digital Dice on the road, we have our first ever Digital to Dice Con in May in Connecticut. DigitalToDiceCon.com is the website. If you want to grab some tickets there so we can make sure we can pay for the room, and we're going to have a good time out there playing some games. And getting some stories told to us, too. JT Hedrick's going to give us some baseball stories here, so I'm hoping he lines up some good ones for us. And we're going to have some game developers there as well. I think Keith's supposed to come by, Ian Brook from On Deck Baseball. We have a whole bunch of other people expected to stop by and either show their game or just kind of talk to us here. So Happy New Year. Thanks, for everybody, coming by. And
Happy New Year.
We'll talk to you all later. Bye-bye.
See you in April.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
we'll see you in April.
Happy New Year.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye.
Happy New Year.